My name is Danny Samson. I have my beautiful, handsome son, Donnie Samson, here. And we'd like to tell you a lot about our company and why we think it'd be a good reason that you could convert your company over to a Samson Properties. And we want to bring you all these great benefits that we've created. We've changed a lot of lives, and we want to spend the next few minutes here explaining why and how we can change your life as an owner of a real estate company converting to a Samson Properties. I look forward to this. We've changed, like I said, we've changed a lot of great lives, and you're going to see a lot of good information here, because I know it's tough out there owning a company and competing against the Kellers and the Long and Fosters and all the great companies that are out there, and the Samson Properties. It's tough to compete against us too. But I'd like to talk to you about becoming a Samson Properties, being a part of a profit share, and you'll see a great, great, great future out of this, because boy, there's nothing better, Donnie, than having a great 100% commission plan with all the things that we have here and recruiting. We now have well over 100 realtors a month, one by one, joining our company. Donnie, you had over 1,000 realtors join us in the last year. In the last 12 months, over 1,000 realtors individually have joined us. So it's a great game. It's a lot of people. We're going to show you some great stories of some folks just like you that converted to a Samson, and now they are the happiest people in the world. So let's get into it, Donnie. Will you? First of all, I want to tell you a little bit about our company. Again, my name is Danny Samson. I started in real estate in 1986. I started my own company in 2001. We did wonderful. We were up to around 300 agents or so. Everything was going great. Then the recession hit in 05, 06, 07. A lot of people got out of the business. We got down to about 150 agents in 2010, 2011. Then I decided in 2011 to change us from an 80-20 commission split to 100% commission. I felt that that was a great plan to start with, and we could recruit a lot better with 100%. So in 2011, 2012, we turned the whole company over to 100% commission. At that point, we had about 150 to 180 agents. Right now, we currently have over 3,000 realtors.
Over 3,100.
Over 3,100. Well, it's going up by 100.
It's going 100 a month.
100 a month.
Ask us next month. It'll be higher, right?
So, and it's because a lot of great people like you. So we're really excited about what we've accomplished. Our lives have changed a lot in the last 8 years, and we're going to change your lives the same way in the next several years when you hear what we've got to offer you. So that's kind of how we got to this point, right, Donnie? I think, is there anything else?
Yeah, no, I think...
what I wanted to, go ahead. I was going to bring you in, and
yes.
What I want to do is give a little bit, because he won't brag about himself, so I'm going to brag about him for you, okay? One of the smartest people I've ever met in my entire life at problem solving and about taking this company to the next level. We couldn't be any luckier than to have Donnie now running this company as a CEO and taking this whole company into the whole next stratosphere of technology. Donnie graduated college, 02 or something like that, 02?
Yes.
Got in real estate. I bet you were in real estate when you did, 03. Yeah. Got into it 03, 04, and 05, and for those of you who were around then, know that was great, but then immediately walked into 05, 06, 07, and 08, which was probably the worst real estate market in the history
Short
of real
tales
estate
of
markets.
Foreclosure, so much fun.
You got all your wonderful friends into buying houses out of the gate, and then they all end up having to run into all the problems of 07, 08, and 09. But the thing I want you to know about Donnie is this. Donnie did over $30 million every year in business for what, 11 straight years? 11 straight years doing $30 million every year. And what's even more important about that is, and it tells you a lot about Donnie as a person, probably more than 70% of his business those last 6 or 7 years was referral business, which tells you that he does a great job. He knows how to work with people, problem solve, and make sure everybody comes out of it happy. You don't get 75% of your business doing $30 million a year referrals unless you're doing a heck of a job up front and taking great care of people. Now, 3 years ago, I think 3.5 years ago now.
Yeah, almost 4.
Almost
Time
4 years
flies.
ago, we were exploding in growth. I was recruiting and it was going great, but I needed some help, and I needed some help bad. So I asked Donnie to leave his wonderful, incredibly profitable real estate practice and come over and help me recruit and help me grow this company because we were growing really fast. I needed some help. So Donnie came over as a COO. He organized the company like you just can't believe. Took us all into all this new technology that you're going to see that we've got going on here. And then about 6 months ago, we moved Donnie to CEO of the company because he's absolutely taken the reins of this company. And there's not one human being in this company, not one of these 3,000 realtors that won't tell you how much they love this guy and how hard he is. He picks up the phone, he talks to them, and helps them all with everything that they do. So they absolutely love Donnie. and you got to see the Love Fest. In fact, we have an annual festival that comes up in the fall, and last year we had about 5,000 people. All free beer, free wine, music, food. It's one of the most beautiful festivals you've ever seen in your life. Everything's free, and it is a field, 5,000 people, and it is a love fest. It's a love fest. Everyone there is happy to be a part of this company because they've left a company that took 20 or 30% of their commission. They came over to us. They're getting 100%. They're getting everything. The Cardinal Club members don't pay one dime of their commission forever, and that makes them happy people. These people are making $30,000 to $50,000 more than the company they were coming from. So let me tell you, that field was full of thousands of people that were very, very happy about being a part of this company. They're not thinking about going here or going there. They're thinking about how they can drag other of their friends into this company right with them. Because we've discovered that over 80% of the realtors that come here to this company have come from referrals from our other agents that are in the company.
In the last year, out of those 1,000, 86% were actually referred by other people.
came from our realtors, and they said, you got to come join this company because it's a lot of fun. More importantly, they get a lot of stuff done, and they prepare us. And this coronavirus was a perfect example. When everyone else is scrambling what to do, Donnie's produced dozens of hours of videos on how to get through, how to do virtual open houses, how to do virtual listing presentations, contracts, all of it. Our agents were so well ready for this. You prepared them so beautifully for this. Probably better than any other company in the country, you prepared them for all this.
Thank you. We're doing our best.
It was amazing what he accomplished in the last several months, getting our company adapted to this coronavirus. So that just spoke volumes on how great this guy is. I fought through the trenches for the first 20 years, but I'm telling you, this gentleman, Donnie's come in the last 4 years, transformed us technologically, and the realtors love it. And it makes it a much better company for all of us out there. So that's kind of how we've got here. Donnie's been now CEO, and a real estate company couldn't ask for a better CEO than this gentleman right here. And I'm not just saying it because he's my son. I'm saying it because anyone you call in my company will flat out tell you that this guy and Mike Briggs and the other people around here are the best in the business, and they love it. So,
well, thank you. That's a nice introduction. I appreciate that. You know, and I think that the really cool part about in this introduction, we just want to kind of get you to know each other. But before we kind of dive deeper, I think the thing that's made us so successful is, you know, the idea that you started with. We have two main rules: to be nice and be professional, and to pay it forward. And you know, you talked briefly about transitioning from an 80-20 company to a 100% company in 2011. You know, in 2012. Well, the key is, you know, I think that there are two types of companies, in my opinion, generally speaking, out there, right? You've got the 80-20s or 70-30s, but they're going to train you and give you this or give you that or give you the leads. And then you've got the 100%, and I think that the common thought around those is that, well, you get what you pay for. You know, I don't expect much because I'm getting 100%. Well, your goal from the beginning and our goal now together is that it's never about what money I can make off you or what money I can make off this realtor. It's always about how we can make them better. Because we spent all those years in the trenches, we know what's going to help realtors succeed more, what products, what thoughts, what teachings are going to help them better or make them better.
Technology.
And if we can be a 100% company, let you keep all your money, and our passion and our goal every day is to make you better. How can we make our realtors better today? You know, how can we make what product can we instill, or what technology, or what concierge or print center, all these different things. What can we do to help our realtors be more successful? And if that's our passion and our overall mission is to how can we make our realtors better and let them keep all their money, then the rest will take care of itself. The rest, everybody will be more successful, and they'll do all the, you know, they'll use the title, they'll do all these things. But if your overriding mission as a company is how can we make our realtors better, then the rest is going to fall and take care of itself. So that's kind of the goal, is around 100% commission. You hear a certain thing and you think things in your head right away, but our 100% is different. Our 100% is we're going to let you keep all your money, and we're going to be the best real estate company.
Well, Donnie, that's why so many use our title company, because they see us giving back in huge ways. I mean, you're going to tell these folks about KV Core, which thousands of realtors are spending $1,200 a month, and here he just got KV Core for the entire company, and we're not charging the realtors a nickel. Now, this is one of the best systems I've ever seen in real estate, and we're going to now provide this for our realtors for free. So when they see us constantly giving back in a big way, then they're more than happy to help us out with the title business. It's a great, beautiful circle.
So that's the key, and you know, your initial first blush is going to be, because we're talking about an overall interest section here, is, you know, Danny referenced title. You know, so during that introduction about where we've been, you know, you open a title company that we own 100% of, and that's really the key to how the whole thing functions. You know, in 2011 we took 100% ownership of a title company. You started title, actually 2009 is when you started your own 100% company, but because we had that in place is where we could decide to make the moves you made in 2011 was, okay, well, if I can pour all their money back into the realtors' pockets and pour all this other stuff into them, how can we make any money? You know, we can't make any money if they keep it all, right? But if we grow, we get more realtors, and we try to live by this theory of paying it forward. I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to pour into you. Try to use our title company. I can't make you. I can't pay you. None of those things are true. But if we're taking care of you, the realtors are like, how can we take care of you? Yeah, we use your title company. And then we create this amazing, beautiful title company with great people. We keep adding great products, great things to the title company, and they're more than happy to use it. So this pay it forward philosophy, you know, be nice, be professional, and pay it forward are kind of Danny's 3 mantras from the beginning. And because we set it up that way, now it's so successful, because if people are using the title company, there's more than enough money to continue to pour into the real estate company, make our realtors better. And the circle of life's amazing. And that's where, you know, people from the beginning, they're like, what's this business plan? But when you hear it like that and you see it lived out with realtors that are excited and staff that loves working here and a fantastic staff that takes care of our realtors, the circle of life's amazing. And that's really what we wanted to kind of get out to everybody here in this video is, we've got this great thing going, and we know it's a struggle because, you know, Danny's went through the ups and downs of starting to struggle and compete against everybody until we had this winning formula that we put in place 8 years ago. And now with this winning formula, we think we can help so many owners, broker owners out there, convert their company to Samson, and you can live with this same winning formula, and we can both get better together. You know, and I think that's where we wanted to sit down, do this video, talk straight to broker owners out there, and try to improve all their lives, because we've seen a couple examples over the last year happen that we weren't even looking for yet. We were just out there recruiting individual realtors. All of a sudden, we've pulled on the right threads, found some great people that have converted over to Samson, and it's been amazing. You know, and that's where we said, well, let's try to talk to some of these people out there, because we think we've got the winning formula. And if we've got this winning formula, let's find some other great winners like the people watching this on TV and make their life easier, and we'll grow together.
Yeah.
You know? So I think that was the key that, you know.
And I mean, Donnie, there isn't a day go by that we don't get an email, a beautiful card from somebody. I mean, we get these long handwritten cards, how these agents are so thankful about this entire company because we put all this money back in their pocket. And they really do appreciate that. And we're going to get into the profit centers here in a second. But you just got to know the love that goes on in this building every day. One of the things the realtors love most is that our staff is very, very, very friendly and helpful. And they love that. We get comments all the time about how friendly our staff is, and they're always looking to help you. We got 20, 30 people around here that'll help you with anything you want, anytime you want. And the realtors really appreciate that.
And that's that overriding, that family-owned company, that great attitude, that mantra that we're trying to live, that culture we're trying to create is, you know, and now Danny says 20, 30. There's 20, 30 around this room, but, you know, up to 60, 70 employees at Samson Properties around all of our locations. Sometimes he sees that number, he shudders a little bit, but with each one of them, we're trying to instill this family atmosphere. And this is the way we do things. Be nice, be professional, take care of the realtors.
Those are the 2 rules, like Donnie said. Yep. And believe me, we've had to remove a lot of people from this company because if somebody, you know, yells at it's one of my helpers, no, we don't take that. 2 rules: be nice, and do your job like a professional.
Yep.
You had a 3rd one too.
Well, pay it forward.
Pay it forward.
That's our overall mindset.
Right.
You know, and our staff works under that same mindset. Look, we take care of realtors. We'll all get taken care of as a company. You know, you're not the outside guy. We're looking to charge $100 or how can we make money from you? Our staff and us, we're in it together. How can we help you get better? Because if we get you better, we're gonna get.
That's right.
You know, we're all gonna get taken care of. The better we can make our 3,000 realtors, the more successful we can help make them every day. We're all gonna benefit, and we're all gonna be a better spot 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years from now. And we're gonna all be proud of this company that we're growing together, and that's what's living out every day, and that's what's exciting.
And the object of this video is to show you how you can be a part of Samson Properties, and you too can get involved in all these different profit centers that we've set up. And it's going to not only take care of you now into the future, and believe me, when you wake up every day and you've got this program to recruit with, it's nice. You wake up every day knowing I got the best game in town to recruit with. Yeah. You know, that's a good feeling.
I talked to 5 people today that want to join us, you know, and it's 11:30, you know, so like it's nice to be in that spot that you know you've got this great winning formula like I talked about. When you have the winning formula, it makes life so much happier. You're not living in this fear of which one of my agents is going to leave me next. You're living under the fear of who's going to call me today, because all of our realtors love it here so much that they all told somebody to call because they've got to come enjoy this great company too. It's a whole different mindset, and it's great to be a part of.
I mean, can you imagine? This is like 6, 7 months in a row. He's had over 100 realtors join us. Over 100 people. Even through this coronavirus, we're still averaging 90 to 100 people joining us online. They're signing up.
Yeah, I can't even see anybody in their joining.
But that's how much people want to be a part of this company. And that's, like I said, the festival feeds into it because it's just another one of those great happy events that makes everybody happy to be a part of this company, because the festival's for the realtors and their families. So the realtors bring their kids and their families, and it's just a day full of fun and food and music and dance and everything, and everybody really enjoys it. And that's kind of the way this company is. We're serious about making you better, but we also like to have some fun doing it.
We like to have fun, do it with a smile too.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Exactly. Well, then let's do that. That's a little bit about us, and we'll get more into that as we get going. Let's start getting into some of the topics, like how do they make money?
That's what's most important, right?
How do you make money? Why do you want to sit here and watch this? Well, Donnie, let's do that. Income sources. We got 5 here that we want to talk about.
So we've got 5 main income sources that will attach for you broker owners out there that come in to be a branch director or a manager of one of our locations. You know, some of these are going to vary a little bit based on size. You know, so we're not really going to attach raw, hard numbers to some of these things because it's a conversation that we've got to have with you, because your agency right now could have 15 agents or it could have 100 agents, and that's obviously going to be a different conversation, you know, number-wise. So
exactly. I
want to couch some of that. We're not going to make hard offers here, but the idea is we have these 5 different threads that you can pull on to make good money, you know, as you join and convert to a Samson
And I think
location.
what it's done, Don, and we've talked about is, if you spend the next 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years building a company and recruiting, you want to know what's the end game. What are you going to be doing 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 years from now? And when you want to retire and go to Florida, how is that going to become an asset for you? How can you sell that asset, or how can you make good on that asset that you've built over the last 5, 10 years? And we'll get to that, and you'll love that. Believe me, that's what everybody wants. What's my end game? Right. You're all entrepreneurs. You all started your own company. You want to have a great life, a great company. But what's the end game too? So we'll get to all that.
Sure.
So manager salary is flexible.
So first thing, manager salary is the first bullet for things. So the way we set it up is that we're typically looking to whatever the rent or situation you're in. We'll talk through how to best navigate the rent, or whether we're going to get you a bigger space, or kind of how that works with depending where you are in the Samson footprint. But the first main thing is manager salary. So you have a set dollar amount that we're paying you every month to take care of things and be the manager and kind of run that branch, and hopefully obviously be the broker in charge there, but you're going to have access to all of our resources. But
they can still sell houses, right?
Absolutely. So we said 5, and actually one of them is the 6th one is actually selling houses.
That's right.
We didn't even include that as something we're paying you. That's your own decision whether you want to get out there and make some more money selling houses or not, which we still allow you to do, absolutely. So the first one is manager salary, you know, which is going to vary based on location and size and all that kind of stuff. But that is the one thing that we start with to begin with. The second one, and the big one is, and this one's a little bit ambiguous, is for our partners, incentives for using Cardinal Title Group. So the key for us, like we said, is Cardinal Title Group. What we want to do, and each location will be different with how we diagram this, is we want to incentivize you to get a great capture rate out of your office. If you've got 30 agents in that office, you know, if you never bring up Cardinal Title Group again, but they're only hearing it from home base back at us, that's probably going to get 1 retention rate. But if you're in there, you're the boots on the ground there every day in your office, and you're promoting Cardinal Title Group and making sure they're using Cardinal Title Group and making Cardinal Title Group feel welcome and talking about the great things that have to do with it, checking back in with agents that aren't using Cardinal Title Group, you know, being a liaison to the Cardinal Title Group staff to make sure whatever concerns some of your top realtors do have are getting concerned. So it's a process. Not everybody's going to start using them from day one, but as that conversion rate rise, we want to incentivize you. You know, we can't pay I can't pay John Smith, the realtor, to use Cardinal Title Group. That's against the law. But I can pay John Smith's manager a salary based or incentives based on how much that office is converting and using Cardinal Title Group. So that's what we want to do. We want to partner with you in that success. So as your office grows, that incentive base that you're getting, not only your manager's salary can grow, but your incentive you're getting for Cardinal Title Group capture rate can grow with it. You know, so it's a little ambiguous about the numbers right now because we said every situation's different.
Right.
You know, if it's 2 deals a month or it's 25 deals a month, that's going to be a totally different
number.
That's
a huge number, though. That's where your money is. That's what differentiates us, I think, from every other real estate company out there. Is 99.9% of the real estate companies out there don't have a title company. And I don't mean associated with a title company, because then if you're associated...
There's a difference between 25% or 100% of the profit.
Well, and in a lot of cases, they're just talking about a monthly stipend or whatever. We're talking about taking a huge chunk of money, $30, $40, $50, $80, $100,000 a month, and splitting it up with our partners, depending on how big you are, and believe me, we've got one guy we're going to tell you about that grew from 2 agents to over 100 agents in less than a year. So you'll hear that story soon, but there's a lot of money in that title business, and that's what separates us here, you and us, from everybody else in the world out there. That huge chunk of title business, that's the primary moneymaker here that's going to make this whole thing really attractive to you as time goes on.
So the third big block, and we'll continue to reference these throughout the presentation, but the third block is recruiting bonuses. So we'll have a whole section on why it's so easy to recruit with our feature, but you all know great agents out there now. You've got agents under your roof now, but many of you probably would love to grow your office or your branch or your location bigger, but it's tough to recruit. It's tough to recruit against us. It's tough to recruit against a lot of companies out there. Well, we've seen, just the proof is in the pudding, that we've brought in 1,000 agents in the last year. Look at us. We're
changed our life.
We're going crazy and adding all these agents, because when you have this great winning formula that to a realtor, they're like, you got to be kidding me. You're going to give me all this money and do this and do that and do this. And I mean, recruiting it will never be easier. Like you can't have an easier product to sell when you're out there recruiting. Now, this isn't saying you have to recruit, because there are some people that are like, well, they're great. They're bringing me in and I have to. You don't have to recruit one person the rest of your life if you don't want to. But we do give nice bonuses to our manager partners here that are doing conversions, so that they are incentivized really nicely, where if they're bringing in 3, 4, 5 agents a month that do some volume, they're getting good chunks of change, that you can make a whole salary for a year just based on recruiting 3, 4, 5 agents a month. And I'm doing 100 of them a month right now as a company. Now, I'm not personally doing each one, but I mean, a lot of our time back to us. So for you as a manager in a location that's got good clout in that area, you're well known, you've got a lot of agents around there, you could certainly, selling this program, get out there and get a couple agents a month like that if you really wanted to, and make really good money in this recruiting bonus side. Because to us, we are not short-sighted. So when we set up these deals with people, we're playing the long game. Look, I'd rather incentivize you a couple thousand up front to bring this guy in, even if I'm not going to make that money back for 3, 4, 6 months, 12 months, because I know once that guy joins us, he's going to be here forever, and he's going to be closing deals with us.
And he's going to attract other agents.
Yeah, he's going to be closing deals with us, hopefully closing them with Cardinal Title Group, and he's going to bring in other agents, because once that guy gets here, he's going to love it so much that we're going to look back in 2 years and we can attribute 10 agents to that one guy you brought in. So we see the big picture.
And Donnie, another thing on that is, you'd be shocked at how many times you recruit that one hitter, and then all of a sudden all the people in his area say, oh my God, the hitter went over there. Yep. And now they start falling. They figure that the hitter went over there, it's got to be good. And then it makes it much easier for everybody else to just start coming. Can't tell you how many times I did that. I grabbed one big hitter somewhere, and then all of a sudden everyone around him started coming from that company.
Oh yeah.
Happens all the time.
Every time, because everybody's afraid of change, but when they see people around them, all of a sudden it becomes more and more comfortable. Each person they know that joins a company. So you get key people in your area, whatever area it is you're working in right now, everybody will follow after that, because they not only will they follow you, but they follow the other key industry leaders that they think are great agents. So,
and we're not afraid of writing signing bonuses to them either, right, Donnie? I mean,
sure.
If you got some big hitters and we sit and we talk, hey, I got this big guy, he does, or lady, they do 30, 40, 50 transactions. Can we write him a check for 10 or 20 grand? Hey, listen, talk to us. Let's do it. We want to get that hitter in there, because we know what happens once that person comes.
Right. So we're playing the long game with this stuff. So recruiting bonuses to you, possible signing bonuses to these great agents you're out there recruiting, because we know in the long run that it's all going to be for the better good. So recruiting bonuses, so manager salary, cardinal title incentives, recruiting bonuses, and then the last two really deal with the everyday. If you don't want to get out there and sell, but you really do you like to manage, you like to help agents, you like to help them grow, we've got great programs set up right away for you to make money off that. So mentor bonuses. So right now in our company, we require every realtor that joins that hasn't done 3 transactions in their career to have a mentor. So not with us, but 3 transactions in their career. So if Ethan joins me today and he hasn't done any business, he has to have a mentor. Well, what we do is we give you in that area first dibs to be whatever mentor for those people that you want to be. So you make your money on, they give a 60-40 split on their first buy.
You get 40?
You get 40, they get 60. We don't get anything. We're not making mentors put in place so that we make money. We make people use mentors because we don't want to unleash realtors out there that don't have good help. You and I know that passing a real estate test does not make you ready to do this. This is a passionate subject for me because people every day will call, be like, well, I'm an accountant. I don't need I've done my own deals before, or I used to be a lawyer. Look, all those things are great. You haven't done a real estate transaction yet. You need somebody to hold your hand through the first 3 deals that you got here. So we don't do it to make money for us. We do it to protect the reputation of the whole company. But those people coming in, first buy and first list, 60-40 each. You get 40%, the agent gets 60%. And then their second purchase, they get 70%, you get 30%. So if somebody does a buy for, their first 3 transactions are an average of $10,000 commission. Well, you made $4 grand, $4 grand, and $3 grand on the 40%, 40%, and 30%. Well, all of a sudden you got 443. You made $11,000 just mentoring that one agent through the first 3 deals. Well, if you're mentoring 2 or 3 agents at a time, you could be making $5-10 grand a month easy just cashing 1-2 mentor deals a month. So we have lots of mentors right now that are working with 5-10 agents. Are they going to hit on every one? No, but if they just close 1 or 2 deals a month from the mentors, that's an extra 10 grand in commission that they're making just for being the mentor. You can run one-on-one sessions with that mentor. You can run group sessions. So the mentoring is very lucrative. We have a few.
You have a program, right? You've got a program lined out for everybody.
So,
A, B, C, D, E.
Right. So you didn't have to create it. We've got all the mentor expectations, all the mentee expectations, the contract, things we want you to teach, things we want you to do. So you just got to follow the program. Now you can always put your own twist, your own knowledge, because you've been in the business for a while and how you can help people. But we've got it all drawn out for you. We require the agents to do it. So it's a no-brainer. If you like teaching and you like helping people, then being a mentor is a great way to make an easy 5, 10, 15, 20 grand a month on top of what you're doing.
And to help them out with that, Donnie, we've developed over 400 hours of training videos on everything you can imagine.
Sorry, I got to cut you off because I can't let you shortchange us here.
Oh, is it 600, 700?
It's probably like 700, 800 now. We got up to 600 counting, and it's way over that now. So
is that right? Good.
I think Danny's just locked in on 400 hours. But we might be 700, 800 hours of videos on Samson University.
But it is. It's specifically about contracts. We go over paragraph 1, paragraph 2, paragraph 3 into great detail so that any new agent you get, you'll mentor them. But first you send them home and say, you're going to first watch these 6 or 7 hours on what Danny and Donnie did on the sales contract and learn about all the legalese of that. And I mean, it goes for anything. We go through the addendums.
We do. Well, for new agents especially, we have a 16-hour basic training class that Sarah Mormon, our great vice president of operations, led up. And it's 8 2-hour classes. So like this Friday might be on working with buyers. Next one's on working with sellers. Next one's on just finance. Next one's on open houses. We have 8 specific 2-hour classes. That's their basic training series, 16 hours of basic training that if realtors are watching that, they've got, because it's real life stuff. The contract's nothing. Nobody remembers any of the terms. When was the last time you talked about meets and bounds? I mean, that's not even a thing anymore. Yeah. Is that Dad's like, I haven't taken that test in a while. I don't even remember what meets and bounds means. But I don't either. I think it's some kind of form of address.
It's an appraisal.
But the idea is the basic training class is 16 hours of real life, get in the trenches. This is how you get going. These are the simple things that they don't teach you, but you need to know to get going. So the basic training class, the contract classes, and hundreds and hundreds of hours, like, how to use dot loop, how to use technology, how to do open houses, everything you could ever imagine, we're teaching you and putting it on video. And then in person teaching you 3-4 classes a day over the whole thing. So
well, Donnie,
it makes it so much easier to mentor if we have all this to
exactly.
go. Yes.
And we had a great story the other day. A lady came up to us at a get-together one time. She said, I got to tell you guys, I've been with your company 1 week, and it's already paid off. She said, I got into a multiple bid situation. I heard you guys had a video about how to handle multiple bids. If you're buying it, if you're selling it.
How to win a bid.
How to win a bid. So she went in and watched the 45-minute video that we did. It covers about 15 different ways to win a bid. All the different things we think that'll help you win a bid. She said, I watched that whole video, put it all into my contract, and won the bid against 9 contracts. She was so happy. But the point is, there's that great video that anybody can go watch anytime. And we make everybody aware of the great videos all the time that we're doing, because you may not need it now, but tomorrow you might be in a bidding war and you need to know how to use that escalation addendum and everything else that goes with winning a bid.
Absolutely. So the mentoring, the point there was we've got lots of training, we've got a program set up for you, and we have lots of video training to help get them launched in that. So you don't have to teach them how to pick up a spoon and eat with it, but we want you to kind of hold their hand through those first couple transactions.
I'm sure you got techniques that you like to teach too, but we got a great system that you can plug them right into. They can do it home online, and save you thousands and thousands of words.
Yes. So the fifth money-making way is along this line, but it's the next level. So we have mentoring that we make the people in the first 3 agents do. And then we have coaching. So we give all of our agents free coaching available to them. So right now we have about 20 coaches around our footprint, but we're hoping it grows to 30, 40, 50 coaches. So you can be a coach in our company as well, which means you can coach. We typically say anywhere from 15 to 20 people at a time if you'd like to. So that's an hourly salary where we pay you. So the idea is that if I've got 10 agents I'm going to coach, I set up 1-hour meetings with them every week. We have a whole, we don't make you make it up. We've got a whole system that Sarah set up with what things we want you to emphasize. That's always changing with our company and how different avenues. You're going to help them identify, okay, there's 5 different ways that we normally make money. What do you feel most comfortable? Let's focus on these 2 things. Because coaching to us is all, to me especially, it's all about accountability. We've got people that are successful, but this is for the agents that are, okay, I've done my 3 deals. I'm doing 2 or 3 million a year. I want to get to 6. Or I do 4 or 5 million a year. I want to get to 10. Well, it's all about accountability and setting up systems. I always use the example when I'm teaching about what our coaching program's like is working out. I have the ability to go every morning if I want to and work out. But if nobody's going to meet me at the gym, I'm 50-50 if I'm going to get there. But if I got 3 buddies, they're going to meet me there at 5 o'clock, I'm going to be there because I'm accountable to them. So the way our coaching program works is, let's say, I haven't been coming as much, right? Let's say that Danny's my coach, and we're going to meet every Monday at 12 o'clock. Well, we meet Monday, we go over some stuff, and these are the 3 action items that I'm supposed to have done for next Monday's meeting. Well, you're right. In theory, I didn't need Danny. I could have written those things down. But how likely am I going to come back next Monday and have done those 3 things? Well, life got in the way, and this happened, and maybe I got done 1, maybe I got done 2. But can you imagine if I'm going to meet the principal next Monday at 12, my coach, I'm going to have all 3 things done because I don't want him to look at me and say, what, you can't do the things? If I'm going to meet the teacher next week, I'm going to get it done. Can you imagine if you had somebody coaching you every week, making you accountable, and you got all your stuff done every week for 5 weeks in a row, 10 weeks in a row, 15. Now you're building this career that's going to make you successful.
Then it becomes a habit.
Then it becomes a habit that you're going to continue to do successful things. We all know what things we should do, but if nobody's, look, real estate's tough sometimes when you're out on your own, these individual agents, and nobody's holding them accountable, and the ebbs and flows or how engaged they are with their business, or if something over here is distracting them. But if they have this rock, this center to come back to once a week, we know it will pay off. So as a company, we lose money on coaching. Absolutely. We're paying all these coaches out there. We're not getting anything back from the agents to pay us. But we don't look at it as we're losing money. We look at it as we are going to make so much more money. If we've got 20 coaches coaching 20 people each and getting this great one-on-one training, that's 400 agents that are getting fantastic stuff set up every week. These 400 agents, they're going to be so much more successful. We're going to wake up in 6 months and a year, and we're going to see all the gains. And they're going to be so thankful, not only that they're more successful, but that we gave them this free coaching for free.
For
free. They didn't pay us anything on their commission. They didn't pay us anything to take the coach. Some people are paying $1,000, $1,500 a month for coaches. Well, they got it for free, and they looked 6 months later like, I'm so much more successful now. I'm so much more accomplished because I had this coach that Samson paid for. So it's all about paying it forward to these agents, and they're so thankful. They're pouring back into Cardinal, and it's this circle that's awesome. So for you all, you can make money by coaching people, an hourly salary based on how much you're meeting with these people. So all of a sudden you can make up a couple grand on the side just for coaching, 10 or 20 people through this. And not only is it just making money, but you obviously enjoy leading, you enjoy helping people. The coaches right now and the mentors in this program, yeah, they make money mentoring, they make money coaching. But I would say almost the intrinsic value is so much higher to some of these people. They just get so excited because the same way that, Danny talks about changing people's lives. Like you start working with somebody and they do one deal a month or one deal every other month, they do $3 million. And then 3 or 4 months later, the joy you feel when you see their life change and all of a sudden you've kept them to a pattern and they're doing 6, 8, 10 million now and they're happier than a pig in mud because that is real. You talk about getting rewarding. You talk about getting up for work every day excited. Well, I'm running this successful branch. I have my 2 coaching meetings and they're kicking butt. I got my mentor writing their first contract. Not only are you making money from these 5 different, I've got a recruit calling me today that wants to join us. Not only are you making money from these 5 different sources, but all of them are like rewarding. They're great. They're making you excited. You're changing. You've got to surrounded by all these realtors that are happy and they're so thankful and they're just joyous and they're pouring back into you. You're never like, I wonder if this guy's going to leave today. You're like, this guy loves me. He's calling me to thank me.
He's bringing 3 people in with him.
Yeah. So it's a whole different mindset that not only are you making money off these 5 different things, but you're so much happier going to work every day because what you're managing every day is growing and improving and the attitude's amazing and the realtors are thankful and you're working for part of this bigger company that's trying to really do great things. We have another great income source.
Boy, we have got an income source. And I tell you, we've got a golden parachute plan that Donnie's created that I think is absolutely brilliant, just brilliant. Donnie, why don't you explain to everybody how you want to get, because listen, we know you're owners of your companies right now, and you want to make sure that if you build this thing for 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, you want to have an out plan, something that you can retire, have a great retirement income for a period of time, and we want to make sure that you're really, really happy with that, and you got a good out plan. So we've developed a golden parachute for our partners at these branches that convert to us. So Donnie?
So what we're going to do is we're going to add every single time, every month you work for us, 20% of whatever you make, okay, we're going to match on the side in your golden parachute plan. So if in a given year you make 200 grand, in salary and incentives with us, then 20% of that would be 40 grand that we've put into your golden parachute fund. 20% of every year's salary. So if you work in, say, just for easy math, you made 200 grand a year for 10 years, you're continuing to make that 200 grand, but on the side, we've put away 40 grand a year for 10 years in a row. Now you have 400 grand put away in your golden parachute fund ready for you. Whatever's in your golden parachute fund at the end of your tenure with us, when you decide to retire, we're going to pay out over a 5-year period. So you've got a good extended retirement plan that we're building in there. So we're going to build in 20% of whatever you're making on top. We're going to put away in your golden parachute fund. And when you're done, you decide you want to move on, then we'll pay that out over 5 years to you so you can slide into retirement with whatever all the other money you're putting away in your 401k and all. But now you know that you're working towards something bigger with us every month, every year. As you're growing the branch and growing with us, we want you to share in that partnership. We want you to share in that growth, and we want to thank you on the way out the door so that you have something to look forward to. Now, 400,000, maybe that's conservative. Maybe you've worked for us and you've made 300 or 400 grand a year through the partnership. And you've worked for us for 15 years. That golden parachute could be $1 million, under those scenarios. But, in simple math, basically 20% of whatever you make, we're adding to a golden parachute fund. And at the end of that thing, if it's 400 grand or 500 grand or 2 million, we're going to pay you back.
So we're not taking that out of their money. They're getting all their money. We're just taking that.
We're just a promise to pay later out on a golden parachute fund. So if you've accumulated 2 million in that fund, great. When you're done with us 10, 15 years from now, we're going to split up that 2 million or pay it out 400 grand a year over 5 years, and you'll be, doing great in retirement as well. So it encourages you to help build that brand, stay with us, help be a part of this partnership forever. Every broker owner that we partner with, I'm only 39. I plan on doing this thing for 20, 30 years. I want to be sitting here with you in 20 years. You're running that great branch, growing it, double, triple the size of it. We're growing together, and at the end of it, when you decide 10, 15, 20 years from now you want to take a step back and step away, then we're going to have a great big fund ready to promise out to pay you as you're way out the door.
And we'll go fishing. That's a great plan, Donnie.
And we'll
great
go
plan.
fishing. So I just think, and Danny being, the entrepreneur that started Samson Properties and has that spirit, we all want to be working towards something that we're gonna, yes, we want to pay our bills every month and every year, and some of us are just want to put 401k and savings and all that, but we want to also join in that with you because we just think you deserve it. If you've helped to work as one of our partners for months and years and helped to grow these branches, we want you to join in the success, not only with manager salary, cardinal title incentives, mentoring, coaching, recruiting fees, all those things to help build that salary every month. But at the end of the day, know you're working for something bigger as well, that the more you put into it, the more we're going to give you back out on the way out the door so you can go fishing and go on trips and all that. On top of whatever you were planning to retire, we're going to give you a big lump sum, 300, 400, 500 grand, $1 million, $2 million, whatever that ends up being. We're going to help send you out in style when you decide you don't want to manage anymore and work for Samson.
And nobody's rooting for you more than us. Believe me, we're in there to help you build that branch. And that's what I love. Give me some enthusiasm and we'll help mail for you. We'll email. We're going to get agents in there to help you grow that thing. I promise you. That's what we do. We want the branch to grow as just like you do. We know we got a good partner there who's really taken a great branch under their wing. We want to make sure we get a lot of people coming your way. It's going to be great, Donnie. It's a great golden parachute plan for these folks.
Nothing would make us happier than to have 10 or 15 people that we got to pay out $2 million to in 15 years. That means we've had 10 or 15 fantastic partners that have grown amazing, huge branches that they've been able to benefit every month from their business. We've been able to benefit as partners. We've all grown together in 15 years. Everybody's happy walking out the door with $2, $3 million golden parachutes. That'd be awesome.
Great.
But recruiting and retention was going to be our next section, and we're kind of getting into that.
Oh, it is.
So yes, it is. You didn't even know you did that. So recruiting and retention. So I've got this lunch and learn that Danny did forever, and I took over, and it's 2.5 hours, and we feed them and we take good care of them. Well,
and we feed them filet.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we don't feed them.
Take care of them. They want to come. They want to come to
first class food all the way.
Right. They want to come to the nice country club or Fleming's or wherever the nice place is and have a nice meal and feel well cared for, because it's not about, okay, I spent $1,500 on that lunch and learn. It's like, I know that people are going to join from that. It's the long game that I'm playing here. Yeah, I could have skimped and spent $500 on Potbelly subs, but they felt cared for, and it's worth that extra $500,000 to make them know that we're a first-class bunch. But so we've got this great lunch and learn. I'd encourage you to watch the virtual lunch and learn that I've got the full video on. It's broken down into 12 different sections, so it's easier to kind of conceptualize and see all the things we're talking about. But what I would say is, once you get used to it and you get in, not only will you see that and you realize why so many realtors are joining us, but when you get in, you can start having your own type lunch and learns if you want to, where you're like, look,
we'll help you with that. We'll help you market it, pay for it.
You've got 5 or 10 realtors out there that you want. Well, look, bring them in and have lunches. Like typically ours will get anywhere from 20 to 60, 70, 80 people, but obviously we're marketing on a much bigger scale, and we're trying to get people but like Danny said, we do 4 a month typically right now, currently in April 2020 when we're taping this. We're doing 2 in Maryland, 2 in Virginia a month right now to get the whole DMV area taken care of. But I think that's an opportunity that you can learn the skills in what I'm teaching. And once you get our wrap down on why it's great to join here, it's easy for you to recruit off those same platforms. So I think that we've already got a game plan laid out. So if you're like, well, how do I recruit in this company? Well, you don't have a better game plan lined out than we've got lined out with our recruiting book, our recruiting videos, and us as resources to teach you how to do
and to that, Donnie, you're going to see Donnie helping you recruit.
Yeah.
He's going to be sending that video out. We have a whole recruiting staff here, and we'll send that video out to every realtor in your whole area. That last lunch and learn.
Yep.
We want them to come, but some people would rather sit and watch it.
Yep.
So now, the way everything's going, everybody's home watching everything now. So they don't mind sitting at home watching this, and they're watching it and joining.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to actually help recruit for you. We're going to put people in your office for you also. In fact, I won't get into it. But it does kind of get into recruiting and retention. What I was going to say is, what we're finding out, Donnie, is that we can't get offices big enough. I hope your lease is up in 6 months, because we're going to turn right around and put you in a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12,000 square foot office, because we know we've already done it the last 4 or 5 times. We've gone to 10 and 12,000 square feet, and those big Class A office spaces that we're going to put you in, man, they attract realtors like flies, don't they? I mean,
Oh, yeah.
each time we open up these offices, we've opened up 12,000 square feet. We've sold out 35 offices in the first year.
Yeah.
In the first
crazy.
year.
Yeah.
It's what do we need? 20,000? We can't seem to get a big enough office. So we really want to take your office, and I hope your lease is short. Heck, we might even buy our way out of your lease just to get you into a bigger location that we can really recruit into. Okay? And it all depends on how the whole relationship is between you and us.
Right.
As to whether we want to make a big investment in you. And believe me, we do. Because this product gets people to come.
So I think that the couple things I wanted to emphasize just in this section were kind of how our global structure is. And I think obviously you should watch the full Lunch and Learn to understand all the nitty-gritty details. But when we say 100% company, we really have two different sets of fees that we're charging agents. And I want to make sure you kind of understand the whole picture. We charge a broker admin fee of $345 on every transaction for every realtor everywhere. So $345 is our set broker admin fee. Everybody pays that. Now 95% of our agents right now are passing that on to their client. We even have a form that we've developed that says why we charge an admin fee. Realtors present that to their client. You know, 95 times out of 100, it's not a problem. If they feel like they want to pick it up, they can pick it up for their clients. That's fine. So $345 admin fee on each deal. The second fee is a transaction fee. So the transaction fee is $495. So that's what regular Joe Blow agent coming in. They have a $495 transaction fee out of their commission, and then a $345 admin fee that's client paid. Well, and that's a great deal. Okay, they're still getting 100%. They're just paying that. Well, the next step up, and this is where it gets really exciting, is our Cardinal Club. So our Cardinal Club.
How many Cardinal Club members do you have now?
I think it's like 1,300 and change. I'd have to look at the number to be sure, but around 1,300 last I looked. So Cardinal Club is where if you have done, you're coming into my company right now, if you've done 8 transactions or $3 million in the last 12 months, then you start from day one in the Cardinal Club. Now the key to the Cardinal Club is you never pay the $495 transaction fee, ever. You don't have to requalify, there's no recasting, there's no anniversary dates.
Once you're in, you're in for life.
Once you're in for life. So if you have done 8 transactions or $3 million where you're at right now, you join me, you're in the Cardinal Club, all you're ever responsible for your whole career is the $345 admin fee, which most people are passing on to their client. So we have hundreds of realtors that have never paid us $1.
1,300.
Right, but well, 1,300. But I was saying some of them had to graduate into that.
Yeah.
But hundreds of them have joined that way and never had to pay $1 ever in their career because they were just $345. They passed it on to their client, and they've never paid $1 out of their own commission to us, which is. And you could be that same way, or your agents could. They're in Cardinal Club. Going forward, they would never pay $1. So you propose that to an agent out there that does 3 million or 8 transactions more, one of these Cardinal Club, good earners that we've got, and they're like, hold on, what? I had the conversation this morning with somebody, and they're like, you got to run that back. It doesn't even seem real. Like they're
That's
just
right.
so excited about that Cardinal Club. So that's where a lot of our focus is when it comes to recruiting. Is look, we're going to recruit all the agents, but recruiting Cardinal Club agents that never have to pay any transaction fees or anything out of their 100% commission is so exciting to these people that it becomes so easy to join, especially with all the great things behind it that we're going to talk about. But the Cardinal Club is key to understanding why it's so easy to recruit. Is that Cardinal Club waiving the $495 fee forever. Now, the other way to get into Cardinal Club is this. And this is even
it attracts hitters too, Donnie.
It attracts hitters.
It attracts hitters to your company when they hear about this at lunch with somebody, or they're like, what?
You don't got to pay anything?
Not
right?
a nickel?
Now, the next step is this. Hitters, great. Hitters with teams.
Ooh,
okay?
yeah.
So that's the other cool part.
Yeah.
Is that so many people right now are having to pay 27 grand into their company, or 16 grand into their company, or $1,000 a month plus 5%
Those are pretty specific
split.
numbers,
I'm just making up numbers. I don't know what I'm talking about. But whatever it is that they've got to pay out there, that they also have to pay splits for their team members on some levels, or their team members have to contribute, and then they've got to split it up. So what we do for Cardinal Club is, if you're coming
ready?
in,
This is big.
so Danny Sampson's, I'm recruiting him in, and he's got 4 people back there on his team as well. Well, he obviously qualifies for Cardinal Club because he's a hitter. Well, his 4 people don't yet because they've only done a few deals each. They're on Danny's team. Well, Danny can bring in everybody on his team, and they all get Cardinal Club status for coming in. Now, that's so huge, and why do I do that? So now they don't have to pay $495 either. Well, it makes it so much easier for him to run a team if he has this whole pie to split up. I was running a team before under this, and it's so much easier to say, okay, I don't have to pay anything, so I get 100%. Well, now I've got 4 buyer's agents on my teams, and they're on 70-30 splits. I get 30, they get 70, or whatever, however you want to set up your team. Well, it's so much easier if you don't have to pay $495 to the house or 20% to the house. So many of these people are like, okay, the first $2,000 goes to the house, now we split up. Well, that 70-30 team member, all of a sudden now he's getting 50-50, 40-60. He doesn't want to be on your team very much anymore. It doesn't matter. You've got to fall over backwards to give him 1 million leads and all this stuff because he can't hang at 40% or 50% of the commission. But if we don't charge you anything, there's no $495, no nothing. Well, now the 70-30 with this guy on your team, it's a true 70-30. And they're like, look, I ain't going anywhere. I'll pay you 30% if you're giving me leads and education and admin and all the things that a team leader is going to help provide to grow that. Like, it's so much easier to run these great teams when you don't have to give anything back to the company. So that's why we set it up so that team members in the Cardinal Club for free because they've got a team lead that qualifies.
And if I had $1 for every time a team lead joined our company, like Donnie just said, and came to us and said, you know, I was spending $80,000 a year for my team. $80,000 a year I was spending for my team. Now I can take that 80 and put it into lead generation. Because any one of you that have teams know that you go to bed every night fretting, am I getting enough leads for my team members? Am I generating enough business? Well, if you can take $80,000 a year and put it into lead generation, if you're spending your money right, 4 or 5 to 1, that's just now generated you, $300,000 in commissions, leads for your team. This is huge. Take the money you're going to save on this Cardinal Club and your team coming in, take that money and reinvest it in lead generation for your team.
Absolutely. So it is just, it's transformational when you talk about how to get these agents in, get the agents that have sub-agents underneath them on teams. It's really just fantastic. And, it's tough for you to even remember what this felt like, but a lot of you broker owners probably feel this way when you're sitting in your chairs right now, is you're always worried about what the shiny new object is out there. Who all of a sudden, who's my competitor right now that might offer this deal or this deal? And that's how we felt a little bit in the zeros, right? We started at 80-20, and then all of a sudden, some people wanted this. And, realtors want more of their commission because it's getting tighter out there in our industry. Stop being up at night worried about the Samson properties of the world or the other new shiny objects that are around you. You could be the shiny object. You could know that you've got the best formula in town. You've got the winning hand. You've got, I was going to say the best poker hand, but the best poker hand, it doesn't have a good term associated with it.
And statistics don't lie. Donnie just showed me the other day, the Real Trends magazine came out, and we were 19th in the country and 20th in the country in growth from last year. Is that correct?
Yep. On growth,
in the whole United States.
And growth year-over-year. And the 27th biggest independent brokerage in the country.
And we realized that a lot of people in front of us were just franchises that were just buying up more franchises.
Right.
Or companies buying up a bunch of franchises. That's why they jumped. Ours is very organic, one realtor at a time. Right. Now we're going to go out and start doing and getting companies at a time like this right here. But up until now, it's been just individuals.
Absolutely.
And to be 19th in the country in that category is phenomenal.
It's a lot of good, exciting movement, and it's a lot of realtors getting better by education. But it's the biggest thing is how many more realtors we've brought in that are successful. So I think that the biggest thing is being able to know when you wake up and go to bed at night that you're part of a company that has a great winning formula and this great setup that you can continue to grow, from it. So I think that, and you hit on this earlier when it came to recruiting before, is that so you get paid directly if you recruit people, these recruiting bonuses, but you get incentivized, your manager salary or Cardinal title incentives, and opportunities to mentor and coach based on who's joining your branch. Well, if we're blanketing this area with continual marketing, we're continuing to grow, we're going to grow your own branch, and you're not even going to know it. All of our branch managers now, they get emails once a week with the 5 people that joined their branch, and they didn't even know who any of them are. Somebody walks in the door like, oh, I'm a new agent. I mean, I'll take Alexandra. Audrey Davidson's our great manager out there. Within a couple months ago, she had 6 different agents that did $10 million or more a year. Really good agents walking in her door that she had never met before. Like, oh, I'm joining your branch. I got that office over there. Well, we're recruiting every day, and those efforts are going to help pour into your branch, which will help your bottom line, because now you can help raise their conversion rate with Cardinal, be incentivized if they're doing more transactions, have opportunities to mentor or coach as those people come in. So our recruiting that we're never going to slow down on and bringing on agents is going to fill your branch. You might grow by 50 agents this year, and only 10 of them you brought in, but the other 40 were people that we just brought to your door because we recruited in Springfield and they happen to live near Springfield and they wanted to join the Springfield branch.
That's right.
So I think that that's the other key thing to remember when it comes to recruiting is even if you don't want to be a big-time recruiter, we're going to recruit in there and your branch is going to get bigger if you're running it well and getting a high conversion rate with Cardinal and joining the family and pulling on the rope the same way we are. We're going to attract a lot of people to that branch.
Just show them the love. Just show them the love. If you show them you love and you care, everything else will take care of itself, what we're doing, right, Donnie?
Absolutely.
I mean, there's more love in this building than you can imagine right now. Nobody's looking around saying, who left? Everybody's looking around going, hey, did you see who I brought last week? That's the way it is. It's a lot of fun.
It's exciting, you know. So I think that the recruiting and retention part is a really big factor, which I think keeps, I don't know because I haven't been in anybody else's shoes, unfortunately, but I think keeps a lot fortunately, yes. Keeps a lot of broker owners and managers up at night is keeping their current agents, because we were there 15 years ago when we had the other people
stealing them from us,
trying
right
to steal from us, but before we had this great winning formula set up, you know, and I think that's a huge thing is to have that peace of mind every morning when you wake up.
You don't know.
You're not going to get an email or call who's leaving.
Actually, you do know.
You're going to get an email or call with who's coming, not who's leaving. You're going to get that weekly email with the 10 agents that have joined your branch, not the 10 that left. You know, and I think that's a whole different mindset that I think would be exciting to be a part of.
And again, I'm not asking you, Donnie and I aren't asking you to get in there and beat up and say, I want you to use Cardinal, if they're not giving anything back. My God, that would be terrible if we asked you to go after. But I'm telling you, when the realtors see all of the things that Donnie and we do as a company, and we'll get through them in this and even with the Lunch and Learn, when you see all this stuff, believe me, the realtors are more than happy. They're looking at you day to day going, how do I help? How do I keep this thing going?
Right.
And all you got to do is say, Cardinal Title. If you just help us out there, everything else that's all they have to do. And they don't have a problem with that. If they do, we got a great title company that does the job right.
Yep.
And what we do in most every one of our branches is, if your branch is big enough and as it grows, we're going to put a title processor in your branch because that's the best way to retain title in there is to have one of the processors right there in your branch.
And I think this is a good enough opportunity too, because you brought it up, is if you've got a title person you love right now, okay, unless they physically own some big title company, you know, look, we'd love them on our team. We're always looking for more talent at Cardinal Title Group because we're exploding, you know, obviously, you know, as much as we talk about. So we want the best talent. So a lot of the people we've come right now have come from our new recruits coming in and be like, look, I want to use Cardinal, but I love Roxanne over here at my own title company. Well, let us talk to Roxanne, and we'll pay to get Roxanne over here because we know the best long-term success for our company growing forward is making sure we've got all the great Roxannes out there that people know so that we get high retention rates, great service. We've got great closers, great attorneys, great processors, great post-closers. So the more great talent you all know, let us know. We'll do whatever we can in our place, in our power to hire them.
Yeah.
Because especially if you've got a branch right now, you've got 20, 30, 50 people, and they're used to using this person. Well, that's fine. Like, let's get that person then. They won't have to change the thing.
And we'll pay her more than she's making.
Exactly. So I think that that's another key. You know, we're talking about
he or she.
He or she. I mean, yeah, I think there's actually a lot more she's in the title world.
I know, but you can't say that, Amy.
The other thing I want to talk about with recruiting, which is big, because we talked about numbers and fees and all this, that we have no E&O insurance. You know, I think that's another one that gets brought up a lot, is that I want to make sure you understood that we don't charge any E&O insurance, because that's what a lot of other companies charge as well. But I think that helps, not nearly as much as all the other things, but it's one thing I want to make sure you're aware of as we talk about this recruiting retention section, is that
we do have an E&O policy. We just don't ask our people to pay into it.
It's a good clarification. We don't believe in it. No, we actually do have a full E&O policy for everybody, but we don't charge our agents back. And I know some of the companies right now, you know, $500, $600, $700 is a normal check for a lot of those people.
Well, and you know what, Donnie? To that point, what we've heard thousands of times from realtors that come here is they get nickeled and dimed. They get feed here, feed there, feed here, feed this. Here, we have no fees. Everything is free. I mean, unless they want to mail postcards.
Some stuff they
if they want to mail postcards, they want to buy postcards, they want to buy into stuff. But we don't have these technology fees and kitchen fees. And no, E&O fees. We don't fee them at all. Yeah, man, no, there's companies that have kitchen. Hey, kitchen, that's not a bad idea. No, we wouldn't do that. Because, again, we want it to be no fees for any of that stuff when you come in and join our company. You don't have a monthly fee. We don't have a monthly billing to anybody.
No monthly, no tech fees, nothing like that, because the idea is that, you know, we don't have minimum sales, anything like that. We love to encourage you and help you sell as many properties as possible, but there's no barrier, so it's easy to recruit people in because they're not having to make a certain amount of money or pay a certain amount of money in just to get started.
And Donnie, here's a thought along that line: is there's there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of realtors that are on referral. Well, listen, in your area, we don't charge anybody to be in our referral company. We have a referral company. They don't pay one dime a year to be in that referral company. So you might want to start a campaign to get all the realtors in your area to get in the referral company for free annually, and watch how many referrals you get as a result of that. If you got 50 people in your referral company, you know, that are in that are around you, 5, 10, 15 people in your referral, if they do run into somebody that wants to sell or buy, they're going to call you.
Right.
And then you're going to get that deal, 100% of that, or 75%, you probably give them a referral fee.
Whatever you pay them.
Build that referral company, because it's free for the referrals. We don't charge anybody. And they love that, because a lot of the companies charge the realtors to be in referral.
Yep.
Right?
Yep, absolutely.
So that's another recruiting and retention.
Yep. So I think recruiting and retention is a huge part of this, and I think it's a good avenue for you to make money, but more than anything, it's a way to feel secure that your branch is going to continue to grow with this great formula.
You can sleep at night.
Yes.
The retention is beautiful.
How
about the office locations? Right now you got 23. You've been adding them by the month, it seems like you're adding them these days.
We are.
And especially now that we're having these conversations, and this is going to go out to about, hey, listen, one thing I want to say, this is going to go out to about 1,000 different private owners like you. So if you're thinking about it seriously, move quick before the guy down the street from you moves, and then
Right.
you know, we've got him and not you. So
Right.
if you are serious and interested about this, you want to hurry up and make a move on it, because we're sending this out to everybody in all the areas, all around the D.C., Maryland, Virginia beltways.
Yes, and most of these 23 have been started and grown by us. A couple of them have started to go the conversion route. You know, I know our 23rd is just a great partner of ours we just added in Maryland, and similar concept. They've got their own brokerage, 25 realtors. Take down their sign, put up our sign, and let's start cooking from day one. So I think what we wanted to talk about here was not only that we already have 23 and growing by the time you watch this, but what is that advantage? What are the advantages of having that? You know, in those 23 locations.
You're not
you know,
kidding.
Yes, you're worried about, you know, your location with 3,000 or 8,000 or 12,000 square feet. But what are the major benefits of having 23 in your repertoire? You know, that's what I really wanted to kind of take some time on, because I think there's a lot of really good advantages to that you might not think about. You know, every franchise and you know, not that these are franchises, every company runs themselves differently. So I'm not going to say anything else that anybody does or doesn't do is good or bad, but the way we like to structure the thing is that if you belong to Samson, you belong to all of us. You might say, okay, I'm with Samson Properties, Alexandria's branch, but you can walk into Vienna and McLean and Tyson's and National Harbor and Bethesda and be treated as one and welcomed with open arms, and you can sit down there and do closings or meet with clients and all the things that you can do. And I think that those are what makes it great to be a part of the big Samson family, because reality is in real estate, look, you know, I lived in South Riding area. Well, if I was doing $30 million a year, you think it was all within 5 miles of South Riding? Of course not. You know, our job sends us all over the place. Well, today I could be showing homes in Alexandria. Well, what happens if I want to go write a contract with those people? I got to drive all the way back to the Chantilly office? Or no, we'll go down the street, we'll sit in the conference room, we'll pull up the TV in the conference room, we'll pull up to a computer, write our offer and style in a nice location, first-class location, and be able to service that client. And then when it goes to close, what do we want to do? We want to close the Cardinal Title Group to support the team. Well, do I have to go back to Chantilly's location because that's my home branch? No, close right there in the Alexandria location, because the townhouse we just wrote a contract on is a minute down the road. If we have so many great locations all over the DMV area, it's so much easier for you to be a productive realtor, because you have an office 5 minutes away or 10 minutes away or 15 minutes away that you can stop in and use and or do closings at. So that's the number one thing, is that we want to make sure that everybody knows you belong to Samson, you belong to everybody. Yes, your license hangs with Alexandria or the MRS, or maybe you're counted as an Alexandria office member for, you know, totals and salaries and all that kind of stuff. But you belong to Samson, you belong to everybody. We're one big happy family at Samson, and I think that's cool.
And you know what, Donnie, mark my words, but we have every intention, and I believe we're going to be able to add a couple of these a month. So when you look at us a year from now, we're going to be at 45, 50 locations. And a year later, 70, 75, all around the D.C. metropolitan area. So, you know, if you think it's nice with 23, when we have 60, 70, 80 branches all around the area, And you can use all of them. You can go in there and make copies. It's all free. We'll get to that later.
Yep.
But you can use any one of the branches like they're your own.
Yeah, and I think that that's really important. It's really important for the agents that are joining your team. You might be, one of the struggles you might have now if you're an independent one brokerage thing is that you're restricted by how far you can recruit into it, or you're restricted by, your agents. If they start doing business 20, 30 minutes away from where your branch is, they're kind of out on an island. They don't have anything to help them. You've got places all over the place that you can sit down, do work, do conference rooms. We have drop-in computers and workstations at every office, every location. Multiple, anywhere from 2 to 10 or 15 at some of our bigger locations, drop-in computers and desks that people can work. We've got conference rooms that you can always use, whether it's your home branch or not. Most offices even have 2 and 3 conference rooms as we're getting into the bigger offices. So we do have online scheduling, so you can schedule that. Now, the title company always has preference, so if the Cardinal Title has a closing there at 11, you can't necessarily book a buyer presentation on top of that, but if the conference room's open, you can use it. If you want to book it for during the day, nights, weekends, you can book it on an online scheduling system so you can see everybody and anybody out there and who it's being used or if it's being used, and you can walk in. And a lot of times, even if they have a closing, you can use the second conference room or the smaller conference room, whatever that location has. So it's really important to have that flexibility to be able to expand your business, recruit agents that might feel more comfortable in a different branch than somewhere else, but you have a relationship with them. Well, before, if you're in Alexandria and you know an agent in Tyson's, maybe they're never going to join your branch because they're not going to come to Alexandria. Well, you could recruit them still to Samson and they could join the Tyson's branch, but you could still get a nice recruiting bonus from them. So it really opens up the possibilities for what you can do as far as your agent's ability to work and people more likely to join Samson properties. The other really cool benefit that I think of off the top of my head
Can
is...
I go first? Because I'm sitting here and it's going to go away.
You'll forget yours.
I'm sitting here waiting patiently. I'm sorry, man. But a lot of companies these days are getting away from brick and mortar. We're doing just the opposite.
Yep.
And here's why. Like I mentioned earlier, we want 8,000, 10,000, 12,000 square feet. We want 35 offices in there. These managers are renting these offices out. By the end of the first year, they've rented out 30, 35 offices. Now, what that does for you as an owner is you have retention. The realtors love it. They want to get away from their house and they want to get into their own office. We find that they love having their own offices. It gets them out of the house and gets them in there working and focused on real estate. For you as the owner, what it does, first of all, we have office rental income. That's one of the things, you probably have partners, that we don't have that, but rental income, so if you rent out 30 offices at $350 an office, that's $10,000 a month that goes towards our overhead to pay for the bills for that branch. Now, what it also does is now you have 35 realtors that use Cardinal Title. They use Cardinal Title. They're in there every day. Let's put it this way. Everybody that rents an office has a 30-day lease, 30-day notice, right? And this has happened many times before where we've had, some agents and we fill up all of it, all the offices, but then you get to the point where now you got still more people coming and they want to.
Right.
They want an office, right? But we don't have any. Well, how do I say this nicely?
How do you delicately put this?
How can I delicately put this? You can put someone on notice, a 30-day notice.
We want to keep people in our offices
using Cardinal
that are loyal to our culture and our brand.
True.
And yes, we can't make people use Cardinal Title Group, but if you have somebody in there that is supporting ABC Title, then the fear is that they're going to start to promote the idea that ABC Title is the way to go. So it's not about, if you don't use Cardinal, I'm going to kick you out. But we want loyalty to our brands and pulling on the rope the same way and a part of our culture in the right way. So I think that that's an easy way to frame it. And anybody that gets into our company knows that Cardinal Title is our partner and our buddy, and you want to use them to help the whole brand out, to help all of us succeed. So if we have people that don't want to use Cardinal, that's okay. I can't make you, but we don't have to rent office space.
That's right, because we don't want to spread a bad disease in there.
Yeah.
We just can't. It doesn't work. Now, initially, you want to fill the place up and you want to get a lot of bodies in there, but once you get it all filled and you get a lot of bodies in there, now all of a sudden you start, here come all these more hitters, and they want to come in, they want to be loyal to your title, and everyone we put in office, we let them know that up front, that everybody's on notice, and there's a lot of people joining us all the time. And I know it's hard to sit there and imagine having 10 or 12,000 square feet of a Class A office space at $25,000, $30,000 a month rent and going, oh my God, I wouldn't want to get in the middle of it. That's all right, we'll sign the lease. We'll take that liability, don't you worry about it. Because we know that if we get you a big, beautiful Class A with 35 offices, we know you'll have them rented out within a year. And I mean, that place will be humming. Alexandria did it, Bowie did it. We have the 6 different locations. Yeah. We blew up to 10, 12, 13,000 feet, and they rent out in the first year. Now we're sitting there going, geez, Donnie, we've got 13,000 square feet, 35 offices, and we're full. What do we do now? You know, we're still on the lease.
And there's some reasons that, you know, that why are we going to brick and mortar? And we get that question some, but real estate's a lonely business, you know, and a lot of you guys are probably feeling this right now with Corona, and we're doing all we can to virtually do Zooms and all that kind of stuff. But even before this, our line was real estate's a lonely business. You know, if you're not succeeding and you're sitting in your own house staring at the same walls, negative attitude can continue to perpetuate negative attitudes. So some of these people, they need that interaction. They need those company meetings to go to. They need to come around the water cooler. Even if they're going to come once or twice a month, they need that class to go to. They need that interaction to get new ideas, to give them juice. So that's one reason we're continuing to grow these brick and mortar locations, you know, is that we know that people still need that and they still thrive and thirst for that in real estate.
They really do.
You know, and yes, you can work from your own home, and we know people that do. But when you're going to write a contract or you want a professional place to look down, look, we've all written contracts on the hood of people's cars or at McDonald's or Starbucks, but isn't it nicer to walk into a beautiful conference room and sit down and make your clients feel happy and give a water or a Coke and have them sit down and write a contract about something they're excited to do? So we want to have those conference rooms, those beautiful offices available for people. And then selfishly, we already talked about, is the third major reason that we have all these offices is for Cardinal Title closings. I always tell the story, like when we first got going on Cardinal, say before we had an Alexandria office. I don't know why I always use Alexandria, but it seems so far away from a Chantilly guy. But I'm out there writing a contract in Alexandria, and I'm working hard. We're showing a bunch of townhouses, and we write on one and we ratify it. It's great. They say, okay, where are we going to close? I say Cardinal Title Group. And they go, where's that? Chantilly. Well, my buyers look at me and they go, come on, Donnie. And the listing agent's like, we're not closing at Chantilly. I'm not driving 45 minutes to go to closing. Well, from an agent in the field, that was hard, right? But if I had an office in Alexandria and in Lake Ridge and Tysons and McLean and Vienna, like, well, now I can go anywhere. Like, wherever I'm at in Northern Virginia, I'm choosing them as an example, but in Maryland we have 6 locations now, and in Virginia we have 17. If we have locations everywhere within 20 or 30 minutes of you and closer as we grow, then it's so easy to say, well, we'll just close in this office and they'll take great care of us there. So that's, you know, the other main reason that we're going to have all these locations, and we're going to continue to grow them, is it just becomes more easy for everybody to be part of one big family and succeed. The other big part for having a lot of locations, and why does that appeal to you, is the training and education. So we're learning through coronavirus, obviously, that we can do a lot of Zoom and virtual stuff. Well, in that case, everybody can learn from home, right? But as this breaks free, many people learn better person to person. You want to have that teacher that you can interact with. You want to come to a class, sit engaged, watch that, not worry about all the things going on in your house that are distracting you from the video class. Ask them questions. Look, Zoom's great and we're getting through it great. But if we have, let's say, 3 classes a day at all of our different locations somewhere, well, now the world is so much more open to you and all your realtors to learn. We'll teach those people up for you in all of our different locations. Okay, let's say your location's in Tysons. Well, if we have a class today in Vienna, and on Wednesday in McLean, and on Friday in Alexandria, and next Tuesday in Chantilly, well, all these are available, and in Reston, all these are available to all your agents where they can go and sit in these classes. You would be limited to whatever is going to come into your little office, not little office, your office of 20, 30, 40, 100 agents. Well, if we have all these branches, and we have all these opportunities, well, now your agents can go anywhere they want and take these great classes. You got 5 people that want to learn Dialing for Dollars or Ninja or whatever, all these great classes we teach. They can go. You don't have to
go to any one of them.
Right.
Anytime.
All the thing we're providing as a company, or all the things we're providing all the different branches, your agents now have access to, and all the agents you recruited to. So now you've got 23 more opportunities, you know, other than just your office, and someday 30, 40 more opportunities as we grow. So I think that's the major part, is having all these different locations really helps the flexibility for you to be able to offer so much out, so offer location awareness, but offer teaching awareness, you know, and as we expand this brand of the popularity, it becomes, you know, we weren't the big box brand 5 years ago, you know, but now with over 3,000 realtors and all this market share we're talking about, we're more and more well known than we were obviously a year ago and 2 years ago and 3 years ago. Well, it's only going this way more. Well, as we have more market share and more people, we can strike deals now on a global basis that can help each individual office. Like take 2 months ago, we're going to talk about KV Core in a minute, but you know, as a group of 3,000, I can strike a much better deal than 2 years ago when we had 1,000, you know, or 5 years or 6 years ago when we had 300, you know. I can get it a much better per head, a much better opportunity. People want to listen to what we have to say. They want to make a deal with us. Well, now all of a sudden, your 30 or 40 or 50 agents are the beneficiary of the deal that we can make over 3,000 agents across 25 offices, where it might have cost X to do it. Well, it's not X times 50. You know, it's X times, you know, a lot lower number of percentage. So we can productively affect everybody in positive ways the bigger we grow together, as long as we're all part of one team. So I think that that's really huge benefit here. Is like, when I think about if I had an agency of 40 agents and I was sitting in Fairfax and things were okay and things were going okay, but I was like, but look what all my agents could get, you know? Like, it would be really appealing to me that they can now go to all these different things, and they can close on all the different things, and they've got all these different opportunities available to them because we have this widespread. And some franchises, you can only go, it doesn't matter if you're a part of a big brand, you only belong to that one office. Don't go in that other person's office because they own it. We're not that way. You can go in anybody's office you want because we own them all. You know, we've got branch manager partners, but we own them all. You can go anywhere you want. You can use them all, and we're all one big happy family. And I think that's a really cool way that we're going to keep our company running, because that one family atmosphere is one that I think people are really going to like.
And to that point, Donnie, one of the things that we're doing in all the new locations that we're doing is we're trying to get about 1,000 square feet of classroom. We want to have a nice classroom in each one of these locations, because one of the best ways of recruiting, we were just getting ready to do a bunch of it until this virus hit, is we're going to throw lunch and learns, and we'll back it. Cardinal Title will back it too. So what we'll do is we'll set up a lunch and learn, and we'll invite realtors from other companies to come into your office, because there's a great teacher in there who's teaching some CE class. And we got beautiful flags and signs that show all of the things that we're selling, the 100% commission, the Cardinal Club, the Print Center. All these things that we do are big signs that are in that classroom at your office. So when you get 20 agents from other companies to come in to go to this class and eat a beautiful lunch that you've supplied for them, filet mignon with some mashed potatoes and salad, and you come in, treat them like a king, and then they sit down and they watch this great class, and they're looking around, looking at this thing, what is this Cardinal Club they're talking about? And it's perfect. So that's what we're doing, because we want to bring people in, and that's a great recruiting tool for you. It shows how much we care about you, the agents. And by the way, we're getting great training classes out of that too.
Right.
That's what it's all about.
Right.
But get them in, let them see our environment, and they'll love it, and they'll join you.
Absolutely. So I think that's a lot of the power in having a lot of different office locations. I want to kind of focus on that one happy family atmosphere and the ability to use them all. And I want to make sure that you see the benefits of having the 23 and growing locations.
Good. Excellent. Anything else we got in here about locations, Donnie?
I think that those are all the key points I want to make sure we hit on.
Okay, good. All right. What's next on our agenda there, my friend?
So our next big topic we want to talk about is, so we're at the end of April right now as we're taping this, and our official launch is going to be the first week of June. But we are launching KV Core with KV Core Listing Machine and KV Core Social and KV Core Back Office to all of our realtors across all of our footprint, absolutely free. That's right, absolutely free, which is crazy. So KV Core is one of the leaders, not everybody knows about every little thing out there, but it's one of the leaders, and to me, I think it's the best tech stack out there. So I went through months of research. I met with all the different people.
And excuse me, when he goes through research, I'm talking about this gentleman will read hundreds of blogs, right? Hundreds of blogs from realtors. He's following hundreds of realtor blogs out there and listening to what everybody's saying. You get into these KV Core blogs. I mean, you really spend a lot of time listening to what other realtors are saying about everything. And
sure.
I watched you go through dozens and dozens of hours on several different products.
Sure.
And this one by far stuck out to you.
Yeah, and 2 or 3 hour walkthroughs with sales staff, and I went to Inman and met with a lot of the different ones, and I think that you know, so there's a lot of good products in the industry, but I thought this was the best tech stack from beginning to end to really for realtor success. So you know, you look at things from a global perspective on how it can help us, but I really was diving into the realtor level. Like, if I was a realtor today, could I really thrive in this system, and what are the great ways that I could benefit from it? And that's really where we ended up landing on this decision, and I'm so excited. There are certain elements of other programs that were good. You know, Boomtown is this one is this, but to have everything was the best with KV Core, and that's really why we went this way, and we're just couldn't be more excited. This is the next huge building block in our company, and we're just so excited to implement it. I can't wait. But the many realtors individually right now are paying for KV Core and their whole product suite.
$1,200 a month.
$1,200 to $1,500 a month, depending on what they've got. And they don't even actually have all the features that we're paying for as part of it, but they're paying for that every single month to be able to run their lead generations and websites and CRMs and all of the listing activity reports and all the great things that attach to it. But we're providing it to every single realtor starting June for free, and we're setting up all the process now. It does take some time, but we're super excited about that. You know, EXP, I don't like to talk about other real estate brokerages very much because we're just talking about the positive things we do, but EXP is obviously a fully virtual brokerage out there, and you know, so they're obviously all tech stack. Well, this is the tech stack EXP provides, but we actually have the core listing machine and core social add-ons that they don't even provide, and they charge an $84 a month tech fee for their KV Core package and everything included with it. So it just kind of puts it in perspective as to if this is the one that is purely focused on virtual.
But they're on an 80-20 split.
And they're on an 80-20 split. But if this is one that's purely focused on virtual contact and they think this is the best tech stack out there, that means a lot to, you know, us that are considering joining it. Some of you companies out there may either have dabbled in it or know about it. And I know a couple companies out there are starting to provide it as well, but we just think it was an awesome investment. We're really excited about it. And, you know, so what does that mean? You know, I want to talk about some of the key features. We're not getting into the weeds of every little feature about KV Core, but I want to give you a little bit of an overview because I think you need to know the power of it. So it's providing full customized websites for every realtor. So every realtor will be, every office, so like your office would have their own website that's customizable. So I'm just going to keep using an example, but there'll be a Samson Properties Alexandria website individually for them. Off that web, every single agent will be provided a free website which they can connect to through there. They have, and it's customizable all to them, and they can look totally different than each other, but it's the same framework that they can start with. And that's cool. I mean, people are spending tons of money right now on websites. So being able to say that we're going to give you this website is a cool block to start with. Smart CRMs. So everybody's got a CRM. They're like, well, great. There's a million different CRMs out there. Well, CRM's as good as what you're going to put into it. But this one is even better because it's smart. So if Ethan right now clicks on one of my web pages or clicks on one of my ads out there, it's going to pull down within 60 seconds where Ethan lives, if he's married, if he's not married, if he has a family, where he works, all of his social media contacts. Everything's going to connect to it. It's going to learn everything virtually they can about Ethan in 5 seconds or 60 seconds. Now that's scary on one level, and you're like, what the heck? But if that information's out there, then I want to know about it. Now, why do we care? Because it's going to better help the CRM and me produce information back out to Ethan to entice Ethan to be my next client. So that smart CRM is really cool, and it's going to start marketing to him on the level that he wants to market to. It'll know where he's clicking on stuff on my website. Is he clicking on $500,000 properties or $800,000 properties, or kind of what's he doing? So
and it alerts you, right?
Yeah. And
if he starts clicking, you see it.
It'll see everything we've got. So we've got, so with that, we'll see this. So we offer you 3 different kinds of apps for free through this. 3 different kinds of apps. One is your CRM app. So you log on, you pick up your phone, Samson Properties logo, it's your CRM app. You can do it on your phone or you can do it on your desktop every day, but you log in and you can see all the different things that the system is telling you to do. Well, today, Ethan was clicking all these different properties. You should hit up Ethan. You know, John just got a new job, so you might want to connect with John and congratulate him on the new job because it's tickling everything they're doing out there, and it's giving you reasons to reach out to people based on their activity out there in the world. So your CRM app is your first one where you can control everything. It's like you're a smart coach, your app is. You pick up your app every day, it tells you the 8 things you should do today that can really help you market to your sphere better.
Wow.
Are you kidding? A smart coach, this computer that's going to tell me what to do every day?
Free?
For free. So Smart CRM's the first app. The second app we provide you is for open houses. So it's a Samson Properties open house app. You can open it up, and nowadays people can't touch your phones or your iPads. We're not even doing open houses. But let's fast forward 60 days. We're allowed to do these things, right? Well, now everybody that comes into my open house, they either can log in the iPad or the phone, or if they write down their information, I can manually log it in. How many of us, if we're being honest, had 15 visitors in our open house today, and they all signed in on the sign-up sheet. I couldn't read half their writing. I didn't ask for any clarification. They got put in a stack over here, and my follow-up was maybe I called the 2 back that seemed really interested, and the other 13 were, I'll get to that tomorrow. I'll get to it tomorrow. I'll get to it tomorrow. And we never really got to it. If we look back 6 months from now, all of a sudden we got 100 pieces of paper over here, 200 pieces of paper on open house leads that fell off the wagon because I didn't follow up very well. Well, that's not ideal, right? Well, if they're all got put into the app right away as all the people I met at the Center Street open house, well, now all these people are going to start to get marketed to right away. It's not only it's Smart CRM, but it's a nurturing app. So it's all about nurturing Ethan, who walked into my open house at Center Street. Well, now it's going to start reaching back out to Ethan. He's going to be in my web. He's going to tell me what's going on. Now these 15 people that came to my open house, I have so much better chance of ever selling them a house because they're in my CRM automatically from the open house. It's reached back out to them right after the open house and given them properties in the area that might be of interest to them, reasons that they should start working with me. It's got the automatic follow-up that I've said. An hour after the open house, tell them this. The next day after the open house, tell them this. And you set up that plan, so now all of a sudden you're marketing to these people after the open house right away. All you had to do was put them in the first time when they walked in the door. I mean, that's amazing when you think about how many people come into open houses that never get touched or you forget about. You know, we've all got stories for, at least, you know, most of us do, I think, that, you know, I would have people that, I met you at an open house 1 year ago, and you know, now I'm calling you because it's time to list my home. Well, first of all, I'm thankful they remembered me from a year ago, but I probably just got lucky because I didn't do a good job of following up with them for the last year. I met them a year ago. They said, send me, I'm going to sell, and you know, maybe I got them on a postcard list, and they got a postcard every once in a while. But the odds are, once they said, I'm going to sell in a couple of years, they fell off my radar because we're so busy. We're so busy worrying about the business that's right in front of us right now. We don't think about the business we're going to have to get 6 months from now, and 9 months from now, and 12 months from now. You know, and that's where we lose so many possibilities of transactions without a good system like this to follow up. So the open house CRM, or the open house sign up, is the second app. The third one is actually might even be the coolest app that we give out of any of them. So this is where I can give you a personalized app. So I'm Donnie Sampson, the realtor. You're my new buyer client. I send you a link. You click it. It opens up. It's got my picture or my logo or whatever I want it to say on it. Now you've got the Donnie Sampson app on your phone. Why is that important? Well, you're my buyer client. Where do I not want you? On all the different websites, right? Because if you're on Realtor.com and Zillow and all the different places, that's fine. You're going to do a little bit of that. But whose faces are on every different ad out there? A million different realtors that want to make you their buyer client. So I don't want them on Zillow. I don't want them on Realtor.com. I want them in the Donnie Sampson app every day. How cool would it be to give somebody an app with your picture on it? Well, now every day when they're looking at homes, I'm getting all that information. If they make a note or they ask a question, it's coming right to me. They're now connected to me full time, and I'm branding them as my client, and they're like excited, like, oh great, I just opened. It's like they've got this beautiful app with maps and information and everything that I've given them. I look like a rock star. I look like a pro and a rock star. I don't want them out there being enticed by the realtors, and they don't want to be out. A lot of times, like, yeah, we're good, but they know when they go to these other websites, they got to swat away all the other realtors with a fly swatter because that's what Zillow is paying, right? And Realtor.com, everybody's paying them thousands of dollars a month for your information so they can reach out to you. Well, your buyers don't want to be bird dogged. They want to keep this relationship. So
it generates leads.
Absolutely.
It really does. That's what I love a lot about it.
It generates leads, but it's keeping this part of it is really just keeping this relationship
which
going,
ultimately generates leads.
So not losing that. So those are some of the key points. The other thing is it's all free lead generation. So we pay for, right now we pay for free Facebook ads for every open house you do and every new listing you do. We pay for Facebook ads. So once we launch KV Core, that'll be a part of the KV Core universe. So your free ads. So every time you get an open house, if you're one of my realtors, or every time you've got a new listing, we're going to run a Facebook ad for you. And any leads that click on it are going to come right into your KV Core web, so they're going to be marketed to right away. The likelihood that you're going to land one of these 10 or 15 people that click on your property as your next client is so much higher if they're automatically going into my lead flow and into my system. They're telling you who all these people are. They're following up with emails and texts and calls. So now all of a sudden you're marketing and nurturing this person the second they click on one of your ads.
Wow.
Which is just so life-changing for somebody like, look, I might run Facebook ads, but you know, are you going to log in and check who's doing it, then follow up? Well, it might be stale, right? If they're automatically going into your lead flow system, it's just so much better. So the lead generation, the Facebook ads, all those things are fantastic. You can create.
By the way, you said Facebook ads for free on every open house, right?
Every open house and every
So
new
even if you got people out there that are trying to get in the business and they're new, and the first thing you do is get them to do open houses. Now they can generate a lot of leads out of those open
Absolutely.
houses. Team leaders.
Yep.
Team leaders got 6 listings. He's going to do an open house. Boy, they got leads coming in from all over the Facebook
Yep.
on those
So you've
free
got,
ads.
You've got to get them all aggregated
And
into
we
one
do
spot.
300 free postcards.
Yep.
You know,
So
we'll get to that later. But
you got to aggregate them all into one spot, and then so that you can start marketing to them, nurturing them, and keeping track of them is the key, because there's so many things that we lose track of when they're not in an organized system like this. So I think not only lead generation, but keeping those leads as they go in and starting to market to them. You can create your own squeeze pages or own ad pages that anybody that clicks on these pages will fall into your lead system. So there's so many opportunities for lead generation.
every listing gets their own web page, right?
Right. So the next thing I was going to jump into with KV Core is the listings and the core listing machine and what that provides. So every time I list a new property, so I list a new house on Center Street, I can share with the sellers listing activity reports, this really cool report on everybody that's hitting all the different sites. It could say 500 people hit it on Zillow, 300 people hit it on Realtor.com, all the major websites. I can see the web traffic, what's going on there. I can see how many times they're hitting our websites and everything out there. So cool listing activity reports. And then,
Does that go to the seller also, Donnie?
yeah, so that report automatically goes to the seller if I set it up.
So it looks like I'm doing a great job.
Or I can push it to the seller every week or whenever I want to. And then through Listing Machine, it's automatically creating, when I create that new listing, its own personal property webpage for free. So 123 Center Street automatically creates to a new property webpage with beautiful pictures, a video tour, chat built into the page. You've got this beautiful website for your new listing. Well, how much easier is it to get new listings and to keep new listings and get that next referral? If I show that I've got these beautiful web pages for each one with virtual tours and chat and all these cool things built into the thing, and anybody that clicks this web page going right back into my lead flow. So it all ties together to create this amazing thing. It will automatically post your new listing to Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, all your different social media platforms that automatically post it to your pages if you connected them.
Damn.
So it's just amazing the power of clicking all this back in. The last, or not even last, one other really cool thing about KV Core is for years we would stand up here, and I used to be a top producer guy, and we'd have Market Snapshot. You know, so Market Snapshot was a bedrock of my business.
Favorite.
You know, you talked about I got 75% referrals. Well, one thing I would set up is I had 400 people every day or every month, I guess, that were in my system, and they were getting market reports every month. So people, I'm not going to tell you not to do these things, but we've all seen the winterize your hose bibs and, you know, make sure you've switched your clocks back and switched your furnace filters and all those cutesy emails from CRMs. But what does everybody universally care about? What's going on in their own neighborhood, right? Mm-hmm. So if you live in Franklin Farms, he doesn't anymore, he used to, so it's easy to use that. If you live in Franklin Farms, well, you always care about what's going on in your neighborhood, right? So I set up Danny Samson on a market snapshot report. So once a month, he gets a professional market snapshot from me, great branding to me, a map of everything, pictures, information, everything going on in Franklin Farms around his neighborhood. That's valuable.
Shows all the sales and
all the sales, everything active, prices up or down, how long on the market. Well, back then I was sending it through Market Snapshots. 400 people a month were getting that. So I had people that, you know, were getting it for 5 years at a time. I had somebody contact me 7 years later, been like, I haven't talked to you in 7 years. Well, that's bad on me, right? But they got 84 Market Snapshots from me. So when it's time to sell, who are they going to call? Me. Now, I should have done more things, but that's just one thing that I was doing was the Market Snapshot. Well, let's take it one step further now with KV Core. So I'm sending out 500 people Market Snapshots every month. Well, if you clicked on yours 3 times this week, it's going to alert me because what do I think is probably going on with Danny? He might be thinking about buying or selling, right? He's thinking about something. He's clicking on his Market Snapshot a little bit too much. Now, maybe that's, you don't have to call him and say, hey, I see you're clicking on your Market Snapshot, but it's probably a good time to check in with Danny.
Send an email.
Hey, Danny, how's it going? I was just checking in. How's you and the family doing? Or send him an email. Hey, you know, it doesn't have to be about business, but you already know through your intelligence that something's going on there. Now, maybe he's thinking about moving, or somebody's thinking about moving into the area, or maybe he's not liking his wife that much that week. I don't know what's going on. I'm just kidding.
Mike got a new job?
Yeah, got a new job.
And it alerts you to that, don't it? I mean,
yes, if you've changed your job on any kind of social media platform, it's going to alert you to it. So it's the cool thing about that is now all of a sudden it's popping into my CRM, and I know, follow up with Danny, reach out to him at some level because he's clicked on his market snapshot this week. So you've got free market snapshots, the market reports for your listing, all part of Core Listing Social, creating all websites. I mean, there's so much to it. The last really cool element is KV Core Social. So a lot of people want to be good at social media. Not you. You're already perfect at social media. My dad's not a big social media guy. It's cool. But if you want to be good at social media, you want to have something to say, right? Well, most people don't want to get into it. It's like, what am I going to say, you know? Like, I don't know what to post. I don't know what articles to do. So KV Core Social, they pay a group of developers to where all they're doing is finding great articles in all of the major fields related to real estate. It might be gardening or home improvement or real estate or all these businesses, mortgages, banking. But it looks like so what they do is you set it up and you say, look, post to my social media pages twice a week on Mondays and Thursdays or 3 times a week or whatever it is you want to do. And they're going to post unique, great articles and great information automatically to your social media platforms, making you look like a well-rounded pro.
Nice.
So all of a sudden, Monday I posted some great article about financing. Thursday it was about home improvement. Next Wednesday it was about the real estate market. I mean, you could do other stuff to supplement, but now all of a sudden you've got your own content writers back there finding great articles, market specific, and posting them to your social media pages with KV Core Social. It's about now all of a sudden you're memorable in the social media fields for their professional right reasons, as opposed to some wrong reasons.
Well, anytime you get into all that tech, the clients that are getting this and getting reports from you and touching you, they're seeing that you're the pro. You're the one who's technologically savvy.
Yes.
You're tied into the best technology in the industry, and right now, that's who they want to list with.
That's who they're going to contact when it's time for them to sell. Even if they're not noticing it all now, because they're not in the market now, they're noticing. And when it's time, it's going to be your time. Or when that guy at work says, hey, I'm thinking about selling my house, they're going to say, hey, you should call my buddy Donnie. He seems great because you're all over the place doing the right things every time they turn around. So I think that all these things that KV Core Social or KV Core has to offer, which I've summarized in a few minutes, I mean, we're going to just pour into our agents and your agents too, if you join us, is that we're going to have trainings every day and every week and online and in person. And we are really going to attack this because, some of that is just too much for you to comprehend. It's too much for us to comprehend sometimes. But having this amazing, powerful system is going to help all of our realtors jump to the next level. And for free, they're going to be able to jump in, and they're going to create so many more better lifetime relationships, so many more clients, develop more leads into deals, and that's going to help them and you and us. And it's just it's amazing product that we're offering out for free. And we're just so excited for the future for how we're going to wake up 6 months from now and all these thousands of people that are engaged and are just going to be so much more productive and so much more locked into their clients' lives because of this.
And don't worry about you having to train this to every one of your agents. Donnie and them have got the best training classes where they sit down and we videotape these training classes so that once we videotape 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different video classes about all the different aspects of KV Core, all you got to do is direct your realtors right to them.
Yep.
And they can watch those videos or attend the class if
or
they want.
Come in person or watch online, and it's going to be a growing process. So we're just all in on this, and I think there's a lot of really good ideas that are going to come from it, a lot of growth with KV Core. But being a part of this for all of our agents, they're going to see this tremendous growth, and we are committed to the training of it, and I think that's the key.
One point I really had, and I've always told Donnie this for years, you can run 100% commission. And I mean, you can have the best company around and not charge the agents anything. But if there's a guy down the street who's doing 70-30, but he's generating a ton of good leads, we're going to lose these people to that person. They'll take the 70 and take all the good leads. So I was always really, really nervous about lead generation. Well, doggone it, this KV Core has plugged that hole better than anything could have plugged the hole, because that's the best in the business.
Absolutely.
For everything you just described, and it's all lead generation.
And we're going to hold their hand, and KV Core staff and our staff is going to hold their hand and help them get into it. Says, because we want the highest conversion rate possible. And the good thing about, not that you need to know all behind closed doors, but they're more incentivized, KV Core as a company, into getting more of our agents engaged, which I like, because you worry about with some of these tech stacks, like, oh, well, Samson's going to cut them a big check every month, then they're going to go away. No, they get more and more money from us, the more engaged that our agents are, and the better they learn the system and the more they learn the system. Because I wanted them to be engaged in helping us train and learn it and get better at it, and I'm going to pay our staff to get better and train people at it so that we're all amazing at it together. Because I know we know the better that everybody is on it, the more that they're going to succeed, we're going to succeed, and we're all going to be amazing because of it. So.
Well, one of the things I loved about it, Donnie, is they have the agent has the opportunity to buy more Facebook, right? So we're getting in the Facebook ad for free in the open house, but and this is where Donnie's saying that KV Core wants to engage the agents because they want to sell them more stuff, which is fine. But the point is, you're going to get the free Facebook or the free Facebook ad. They're going to ask you, do you want to buy more?
Right.
Would you like more? Samson's giving you a free, beautiful Facebook, but would you like to buy $20 more or $25 more? And it can just get you more exposure. Because me, if I'm going to get my lazy butt up and go do an open house, I want as many people at that open as I can get. So if it says to me, hey, you got this great Facebook ad, but would you like for $25? I'm spending another $50 because I want more Facebook ads for 2 more days on that.
I actually know you're going to say, give me $500 more.
Yeah.
Get me as many people on there as Sunday as possible.
Right.
Well, it's right there. Even at $500.
That's right.
If they create one more client a month for me at an open house, it's more than worth it, right?
Darn right.
And that's obviously dramatic. People are going to buy $25, $50 here, but even at $500, if it walks one more client in the door that's my new client once a month, then it was worth the $500 for that ad. So it's going to make it so much easier to run, and it's not just run ads, because we can all run ads right now if we learn how to do it, right? But to run the ads and the capture rate on those leads is the key to me, is that would give me the empowering part to run the ads, because now I know that any ads I run, I'm going to be able to pull them into my web of CRM, and I'm going to be able to continue to follow up with them. The system's going to start automatically nurturing them, and I can hop in. I'm not going to lose those people in the shuffle. The other thing that I'm going to do, we'll talk about Print Center in a second, but this with KV Core is you can put call to actions on postcards or calls or whatever, or signs, where they click a hashtag, automatically get responded to. Now they're in your web as well. So if they call you, if they respond to a hashtag, if they do whatever, there's so many different ways that you can engage the system that realtors are really going to love. So,
and Donnie, and what we've touched, imagine, how does this make you look as a listing agent? How does it make you look as a broker to give this to your agents? And now when you walk into a listing, one of your agents walk into a listing presentation, they're presenting all this stuff, right? I mean, isn't this a beautiful product to walk into a seller and go, listen, when I do open houses, I lay out these Facebook ads, we lay out postcards, we lay out this, that, and as we get all the returns in, you can
it's lights out. I'm going to send you daily reports on showings and how many it's been hit on all the different public websites, and it's lights out.
It makes you look like a technology genius pro.
We're going to have your own separate property website with virtual tours and chat functions. And
it makes you look like a top flight professional. And the good thing about it is you can take somebody that's been in the business 6 months or a year. And with all because we have classes on listing presentations, so don't worry about that. We've got classes that they can attend to show pre-listing presentations, listing presentations, and every aspect of it. We've got special classes that we do for that. So even if they're in the business 6 months or a year, they can take all this stuff we've given them, put together a dynamite listing presentation, and go in there and win listings right out of the gate.
Absolutely.
With all this great stuff you've put together for them.
Yep. So KV Core is awesome. It's going to be a bedrock of our future, but I think we want to give you a full encompassing look at how great it is and why you'd want to be on board there, and how that's going to translate to realtors loving it and their success, which leads to your success when it comes to more deals, closing in your branch, but also more deals closing through Cardinal Title Group. So I think that we're really excited about it, and that's kind of a good summary of where KV Core, where it's going to take us in the next few months, I think.
I love it, Donnie. And then when you get people in here loving it and getting engaged in it, what are they going to do? They're going to talk to their colleagues out there who are realtors with the other company they came from, and they're going to say, you got to see this, man. They've given us everything. This KV Core is bringing me leads in. That's how you draw the realtors in from those other companies later on.
Absolutely.
It's a win-win for everybody, buddy.
Yes.
All right, good. Okay. Everything else on that, Donnie?
No, I think it's good.
Okay.
Our next big topic is training and education.
Oh, geez.
This kind of underlines everything we do. We've mentioned a lot of different topics throughout the video already about training and education, but we want to kind of summarize what that looks like at Samson in this section, I think.
Okay.
Good. So I think that the first thing I like to hit on when it comes to training and education is Samson University. We've talked about it before, but over 600-700 hours of video training, and that is just it's irreplaceable when it comes to we couldn't either, unless we had all the staff and we had years of stuff, but all the great hours that we're taping, multiple classes a week and throwing it into Samson University, gives a complete education from beginning to end of real life stuff, this market, and I know there are some branches you're at there, well, we get into this. I think some national universities, they can be so general specific, they're not to a certain market, or they're not ever changing with the new things that are coming in.
Right.
All the great video and virtual training. And we are developing our training every week and every month to what's going on today and what's going to help our realtors today sell homes. Not, yes, we do the CEs and the boring classes that you have to check a mark, but those are the things we get excited about. We get excited about the real life trainings that we do that are helping you sell business today, like the Dialing for Dollars class that Tammy Irby does. So Tammy Irby gets people together and in groups of 20 and teaches them how to prospect and call and follow up on open houses and how to scripts that people use to talk to people. Like real life classes, they're going to help you make more money tomorrow. So not only do we teach all these classes everywhere, we're obsessive about video and live streaming them to everybody so they can watch. We live stream a lot of stuff, or we tape it and bundle it up and put it on Samson University for you to watch later. And that's just invaluable when it comes to you and your realtors, the education of your realtors, helping to teach them all the things that you can't do because you're only one person. You can have the whole history of our training in one spot and continue to add great ideas and trainings that you might have that you can teach video and put on the university for everybody to use.
And it's a great search function. You got a beautiful search function on there. They can go up there and they can just go up to search and put in open houses. Click, and boom, there's 30 videos that we've had shot over the last 3 years on people doing open houses.
Yep. It's amazing. I mean, and I've written on here some of the topics, and we've talked about them already, but a basic training, 16 hours, class on contract training, listing presentations, how to win a bid series, dot loop, everything on how to use videos, how to use our postcards, how to use print centers, how to manipulate things, all bright training, an orientation on Samson. I mean, that's just the tip of the iceberg on all the different videos we have. But you can see just in all those encompassing things, it's all about how to create more business, how to be better at your business, how to work your sphere of influence better. We tape everything. We put all that at Samson University. So that's kind of the key to start with our training and education, is that we are obsessive about video, putting everything on Samson University so it makes your life easier.
Yeah, we're videoing every day. We got videos being taped pretty much every day. Well, now the classes are down, but normally when the classes get up,
we're taping more now because
that's true.
They're all virtual, so it's easier for us to tape them, and put them out to everybody. But we're taping so many things and for prosperity, so it's easier for you to work on later. But the training and education too, and we've hit on this in other areas of this video, but between all of our 23 locations, we consistently are having 2, 3, 4 different classes, different things going on every day somewhere. And it's all summarized in our Cardinal Nest calendar. That allows opportunities for all of your agents to take in-person training or online training if it's live streamed everywhere, all the time, every day. If they've got a class that they're really excited about, they can jump in and take it, And
like Donnie said, if you're in Tyson's in the class in Alexandria, go.
Yep.
The agents can go anywhere. This is all one big happy family.
Jump in there, go to all the in-person and online classes. I mean, I think these last few weeks, they've been a struggle for everybody with COVID, obviously, but it really made us so proud of our staff and how we were able to pivot on a dime. And really, we're doubling down on creating even more content than we were before, which is helping our realtors so much to learn new things so that when we come out of this thing in a month or two, they're going to be even better realtors than they were when they went into COVID, when they had to go away to their homes for most of their time here. So, being able to continue to create great content from our staff and our trainers has been phenomenal, and putting it in all the different virtual brands. I'll give you an example. Like if we teach a dot loop class here, we might get 20 or 30 people. Well, now if I go virtual live stream or through Zoom with it, we have our 100 people log in, learning on dot loop, asking questions, interacting with each other. So it's really just been fantastic. We're proud of our staff. We're proud of all of our education department. We've got some of the best teachers in the business, and it's something we continue to pour money into. We're obsessed with education, and Danny and I met with Sarah Mormon, who's our Vice President of Operations, 2.5 years ago, and we were trying to convince her to come over to Samson. And the message that she walked away with was Danny's obsession with being the best education company in Northern Virginia and then the whole D.C. area.
In the country. I'll put us up against anyone in the country. And now it's your education system.
And I think that Sarah went into that meeting and think, look, I'll meet with Donnie and Danny, but I don't really have any interest. Hearing the passion that he had for education and how we wanted to be so great at teaching people. Look, people call me every day, like, what do you give us? What leads do you give us? Don't rely on somebody that's like, well, I'll give you this or I'll give you that. Because now you're relying on somebody else.
They can pull that.
They can pull it or they can change, and somebody else is dictating how you eat. Don't rely on somebody else to fish for you. We're going to do some things to help you fish, but we're going to teach you how to fish. Teach a guy what he did, you know, in my own career. He was very nice, said I did $30 million a year, all this kind of stuff. He never gave me leads. What was that going to do, right? What he did was help teach me how to fish, teach me the skills to sell,
right.
Teach me how to get leads, how to run postcards, how to run good open houses, follow up with people. Teach somebody to fish, they'll eat forever, you know. So our goal is to teach you how to be great in this business. At the same time, give you lots of tools to succeed. Facebook ads, postcards, you know, continual lead generation through KV Corp. We're going to give you lots of ways, leads for free. But if you don't follow up with that, how to convert the leads and how to get them yourselves and how to run a business, it's going to eventually fall apart, right? Don't rely on somebody else to feed you. Learn to do it yourself. So that's a really big focus of what we've got is we're going to hit both ends.
And the good part about it, Donnie, is for you all out there listening to this, when the hitters, when the top producers, the best agents in the industry, when they see this stuff, that's what draws them into us.
Yep.
That's what draws the best realtors in our industry into this company, because they're going to get every nickel of their commission, and they're going to get more training and teaching and tools by far than any other company out there. I'll put our education department against any company in the industry. I'll challenge any company out there to match us, video, classes, one-on-one training. I tell you what, we have a lot of one-on-one trainers. If any of your people need one-on-one sit-down training, we do it all the time. They can come to Chantilly anytime they want, get one-on-one training.
Yep.
We're sending the trainers out to branches every day to do one-on-one training. Nobody in the industry can touch us when it comes to education, hands-on with people.
And I think the key is to see that that's growing, you know, and that's our passion to grow. Because, you know, yes, you're all educated. Right there out there, we're talking to broker owners and leads in companies, and you all know great stuff, and you can teach lots of great stuff. But wouldn't it be great to not be responsible for the education from beginning to end of all your realtors? And, you know, that's the key thing is, like, you know, we couldn't do this, either one of us, trying to teach all the classes, or even with just the two of us. You know, you need great staff and great teachers, and those are the things we've been able to accumulate here is, you know, we have a great series on how to work with buyers better, how to work with sellers better, or how to win a bid series, or Ninja, a whole training series that most companies charge $600, $700, $800, $900 for. We offer Ninja for free to all of our realtors that Sarah teaches. You know, so can you imagine, though, that your realtors can get all this great training, even if, look, put your ego aside, you can do all these things, but you can't. Like, I couldn't teach all these classes myself. I'd wear myself out. But if you have 10, 15, 20 Samson Properties staff members that are teaching these classes all the time.
And videoing them.
And videoing them for you. Well, now your agents that you're in your current company can join our company and be a part of this great education process, and you don't have to be the one lifting it all the time. You can be there to fill in the gaps, be their leader, answer their questions, direct them to go to these classes to get taught. You know, and I could just imagine that would be so, just a whole weight off my shoulders. Be like, you know, you send an email to your 35 realtors in your company right now, be like, here are the 15 classes going on for Samson this week, jump in. But you don't have to teach any of them, you know, or you wanted to teach one.
Or organize any of them,
you know,
pay for them.
Right, but one of them was a passion of yours. You're like, hey, Donnie, I've got this class I really want to teach on this. That's fantastic. We'll teach it. We'll throw some agents in there, and you can teach about it because you want to teach about it, you know, and it's exciting to you instead of that you have to because you have to hit these 10 check marks with your agents every month or you're not educating them enough. Let us worry about that, you know. So the training and education is one of the biggest reasons that all of your realtors, if you decide to come convert with us, will all have this world open to them today. You know, I mean, I was on a call this morning with, you know, one of our companies that is converting on, and all of them right away were so excited about that they could get into the Cardinal nest, you know, and have this world open to them today, you know, and they're like, there's 600 hours of tape out there that I haven't seen before, and there's like, it was like Christmas for them. They're like, this is fantastic. Like, you know, the one guy was like, I got in yesterday, and I was like, I didn't even want to come to this meeting because there was all these different things I still wanted to go around the nest and see. So, you know, I think
That's good
the world, yeah,
that's great.
It was fun. So the world is your oyster when it comes to training and education, and how the power of all of us together can all help each other be better, trained and educated.
Feel how nice that conversation was, Donnie, that you had with these people. You got 18 people in this call who they're not sure about us, about our company. Do I want to?
Right.
I love my company I'm with, and now all of a sudden we're a Samson Properties. Well, by the time you got done with the videos that you'd sent them about like this, about us, and they got online, watched everything, and all the things they've learned about us, folks, these are 18 agents over there that do a lot of business that are thoroughly excited about joining this company.
Well, 18 were on the call today.
Right.
But 25 total were at this company. So they've converted last week. And to give you an idea, I haven't had one person have any dissenting remark or any, I don't think I'm going to do this. I would venture to say by the end of the week, we'll have all 25 signed up and come over. And that's just an indication where it's because they were like, this is amazing. All 25 realtors were so thankful to the manager and the owner of that office. They were like, I can't believe we're making this partnership. This is awesome. So it really was, because this is the first one that we've kind of gone this route with it. And to have all 25 be like, this is fantastic, this fantastic feedback, and thanking the owner for it, really put things in perspective over, how good the marriage is going to be, how that manager's so much happier than they were, before they made this deal, and how all 25 of these realtors are going to jump in with a fresh start, with guns a-blazing on how they're going to be able to be even better once we get through this. And this is during COVID, and all this kind of stuff going on, and they're still fired up, ready to rock and roll, and they're like, this is even a better time to do it, because they're like, look, most of our business is a lot slower right now than it would be. We're kind of sitting, we've got time to learn, we've got time to make this transition when we're in front of our computers all day. Let's do it now, and let's be ready to rock and roll in a month when all this thing's over. So,
I know I'm a little out of business here, but
it wouldn't be anything if you didn't jump off course for me.
But I mean,
Danny's never followed a script in his life.
But is there a place in there for Frank? Because I really want to get to this Frank story.
No, you can tell it now.
Okay. Well, let me do that then, because this is exactly what we're talking about.
His name's in the building. He can talk whenever he wants. It's fine.
But this is exactly what I'm talking about with folks like you. I get a call from a wonderful gentleman about 2 years ago, Frank, out in Bowie. Nice guy. He's in a very small office, like a conference room. He's just taken on, he's become a part of a franchise, and I won't name the company that he's become a part of, but he's like, I really don't feel good. I really like what you guys have. Would you consider taking over my rent for me if I joined you? And by the way, I've got a bunch of people who would follow me if you could get me a nicer office. We said, okay. So we took the chance on him. We said, yeah, we believe in you. He's a great, great guy. If you ever meet him, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. He's one of the nicest people you'll ever meet in your life. So we bring Frank on. We take over the rent payment. He loves us for it because it took him off the hook for some money every month. Now, we go to find him an office, right? So we go down the street. We get a Class A office space, about 4,000 square feet. We sign a lease on it. Before they started construction, he'd already had those offices sold. So we go to the landlord and we say, hey, you got to break through the wall. We need 4,000 more feet because we're already sold out. Before they started construction on anything, the 8,000 square feet and the 20-some offices are now rented. We go across the hall and pick up another 4,000 feet. So before he'd even moved in, we had gone from 4,000 feet to 12,000 feet. 12,000 square feet he now has. Within 12 months of him opening that office, he now has all 35 offices rented. And every one of them are 3, 4, 5 million producers or more.
It was like 9 months.
9 months. He's got all of them done. Okay?
Crazy, right?
His profit sharing and his game going forward is going to be spectacular. Now, this is what one person did in 1 year. Now, if some of you are sitting out there right now with offices that you already got 20, 30, 40, 50 people in it, you got the head start already. It's easy to get to the next 50. But
he probably personally recruited 30 to 50, maybe 60, and I could probably check, which is great. And they have his name on them. But that office now, I don't even know if you know these numbers, has over 210 agents associated with that office.
It hadn't even been open a year.
Right. So we have over 200 agents, 210 agents that call that office their home. So that kind of is the perfect storm of everything we're talking about. Not only did he have tons of connections that he's going to get recruiting bonuses on the 30, 50, 60 people that he brought in, but because of our natural recruiting and those people telling other people how great this is, I mean, he has people within that office that have recruited 10 or 15 agents themselves. We started this big tree and the branches just sprung. Well, now all of a sudden we have over 200 agents in that office.
I can't believe that.
Yeah, and I'll bet you it ends up being, you know, if I ran numbers, it's got to be our second, third, fourth most productive office already in less than a year. And that's just one example of many out there. But it went from just them to over 200 agents in a year, which is
one guy in a tiny little conference room by himself, and a year later,
and 32, 36 private offices rented out, you know, and we could actually rent a lot more than that, but we had to start being like, look, you've got to sell at least $3 million to get an office. You know, it's not like we wanted to, but they were falling over themselves. It's like, look, you know, well, I don't want to move you out of there, but you only did 4 deals last year, and I got somebody over here that does 20. They need the office, you know, so. You know, we actually inquired about getting more. They didn't have any more square footage that connected or was close. It was like the other end of the hall down the thing. I was like, well, we're not going to do that. You know, so in theory, we could probably make that 15,000, 20,000 square feet and still fill it up. You know, and not only in there's lots of private offices, but there's big drop-in areas. There's a huge training room where we can get 50, 60 people in, where we do lots of meetings, lots of classes. We did a whole digital marketing mega day there where the agents flocked to the day. It's funny, it's the day before they shut down the world for COVID. So we had like 65 people in there, and we had no idea that the world was going to be shut down the next day. But it was really an amazing thing to see the growth of it and the excitement. Every time I go to the location, I just get so energized. That day we had the digital marketing mega day. We had tons of agents in there. Then I went to a lunch and learn that afternoon. We had 61 agents there down the street from that office. And so we're full and packed up. And that was over 200 before we even had that lunch and learn that day, where I'm sure 20, 30, 40 people joined. So it can feed on itself, the energy, because you've got great people involved in it. And as they feed into the great process and this winning formula that everybody's got, everybody wants to jump on board. And it's really amazing. You know, so his story is fantastic. So he went from, now he can still sell his own stuff. He's got all 5 of these avenues open to him to mentor and to coach and to recruit and get Cardinal title incentives and a manager's salary. And his own selling. He's got 6 different ways to make money, but he's not on the hook for rents and not worried about people walking out the door. Everything he does every day is by his choice, whether he wants to recruit new people or mentor or coach people or go sell his own property. But between those 6 things, he's making tons and tons of money.
And we're taking on all the liability.
We're taking
on the rents, the secretary, the payroll. We're taking all that on. Don't you worry about a thing. We're just going to get in there. We're going to build that sucker as big as we can possibly get it. You cultivate the business and generate the business, and man, I tell you what, we're going to be some happy people. You are going to change your life, and you're going to go to bed every night loving what you're a part of and waking up every day. Can't wait to get to work because you got the best plan in the industry right now to recruit from, and we're going to bring them in your office, and you're going to love it. It's beautiful.
Excellent.
God, it's so much fun. It really is.
The training and education is awesome, and the Frank story is awesome, and it's a great way to see it in real life and how it can grow. And that's one that started small. Most of you out there are starting with a much bigger base and can really grow it even quicker, you know. But this was somebody that started with just a few people that were actually in his branch and just a lot of people he knew, you know, which was an amazing story. You know, so it's all great stuff, and the training and education portion is a fantastic benefit.
Donnie, next thing I want to get into here is the Cardinal Nest, which we decided, about 3 years ago, that we needed a software that encompassed everything in the company. Everything the company does, we need it on one place that they can go to and find it. You spent about a year with one of the girls here designing this entire Cardinal Nest, we call it Cardinal Nest. And I tell you, Donnie, I've heard from RE/MAX, Long & Foster, Keller agents, we got them all. And everyone that's come to this company has looked at this Cardinal Nest and said there is nothing out there in the industry that compares to what you created on the Cardinal Nest. It's a place where no matter where you are, whether you're in Florida, California, wherever, you can get on the Cardinal Nest, order your printing, and do anything you want in this company, including getting all the videos. Everything goes to the Cardinal Nest. So that is the big thing for this company, and it's something that, you know, all your people now will have access to. And I want Donnie to tell you all about it because he has just absolutely designed the greatest tool for the company. And the realtors love it. I tell you, people tell me all the time how they go on it, and it's just, we update it every day with all kinds of information.
What'll be cool is just how far it's come, but how it's evolving as well. But the Cardinal Nest is our intranet for all of our realtors. So it's the place to be, you know, when you log in every day.
And explain to them, if you will, how when you transform from the Facebook and why. You know, that was interesting.
So, well, a couple things. The Cardinal Nest has everything in one place, you know, and what Danny's referenced is the message board. So one huge part of it is we have our message boards embedded in the Cardinal Nest. And we used to have a Facebook group, and some of you guys probably have Facebook groups for your company, which is great, but you've probably found two of the problems that I found were this. About 60% of the realtors we're effectively using Facebook. You know, I mean, I can use my loving father here as a guinea pig. He doesn't have Facebook. He doesn't want to get on it, and that's cool. You know, but we have a certain segment, not just age-based. I mean, I have 25, 30, 35-year-old agents that don't like Facebook. Maybe they're on Snapchat or Instagram or whatever the newest TikTok. But if only 60% of the people were using Facebook effectively, well, then we could have great stuff going on, but 40% of the people weren't in the conversation. So that's not ideal, right? And then the other problem with it is, for a billion-dollar company, it's the most unorganized platform on the history of the earth. We'd have people posting, I want an open house covered for Sunday. They'd post it Monday at noon. Somebody'd be interested. They'd come back Tuesday to try to find it to respond to that post. And it's a sea of nothingness. I mean, if any of you are, there's no chronological ordering to it. Unless people have commented, it's not going to jump back up to their algorithm to the top. And you haven't, unless you remember exactly words about it that you could search or exactly who posted it, it's very hard to find if there's been 35 posts since yesterday. So,
and we do. We have 35, 50 people, 100 people asking for open house help.
Sure. So we've got all this stuff jumping all of each other, and there's just no organization. There's no continuity, and not all my agents are in it. So initially, change is hard, but we moved off the Facebook group. We still have one that we can post announcements and stuff too, but everything that we do is in our message board system on the Nest, where now we've got 12 different message boards, so we know exactly what we want. There's one for open houses. There's one for KV Core. There's one for, marketing, Samson news, contract questions, sales meeting notes, everything down the line that you could ever imagine. We've got specific message boards for it. So if you've got or contractor recommendation, if you've got, questions about this or referrals outside of the area, you can post it in the certain board where it makes more sense. Danny wants an open house covered for Sunday. He's going to post in the open house board. If you're an agent looking for open houses, what are you going to do? You're going to go to the open house board and see if anything's interesting. So the one downside to switching, was Facebook has the automatic notification, so people are always being notified. So the way we fix that problem is you can subscribe to any message boards or all of them that you want to. So I'm subscribed to all 12. So anytime anybody posts a message in a board, you get an email right away, right to your inbox with what the message is and an easy link right there where you can click it and respond to the conversation right there. So it makes it so easy that you are being notified all the time by email, so that you can just get the messages that you want. With Facebook, you're notified anybody posts in that group. Well, you might not be interested in every single post in that group, but you can segment, I only want open houses and contract questions and interesting articles or whatever it is that you're interested in. So the message board system is fantastic, and we have hundreds of posts in there and tons of activity and great camaraderie amongst our agents, where they can post a question, get lots of feedback from each other. So the message board system is continuing to grow, and the more the Cardinal Nest is magnetic for all the agents, the more that they're in there. So the message board system is a huge component of the Nest. But some of the key components of the Nest are this. You log in every day and we have our announcements, and that's where everybody is keen to what's going on in the company. They can come in there every day. That's where we're broadcasting live our sales meetings, any class that day, right in the dashboard, right at the top, right in the middle, so everybody can find it easy. Where do I find the sales meeting? Well, I go to the Nest because I know how to go there, and right there's the live stream video. Just click it and I can start watching right away. So that's the easiest way that we found to keep it in our closed loop, that people can find stuff, watch it as soon as possible. So we're changing those announcements every day. We've got the schedules for everything.
Latest videos.
Well,
let's talk
right
about
there.
the schedule, the calendar, which is on the left, one of your links.
So one of our main things is we've got a calendar in there. We've got a small one on the right, so you can always see what's going on, and then a bigger link on the left that shows everything going on. So you can look at the month of April that we're in right now, and you can see we've been referencing 3, 4, 5 classes a day. Well, on April 22nd, it might say, these are the 4 classes. Well, you can click on any one of them and just right there click in and watch it if it's virtual, or you can click right there and sign up if it's an RSVP link. So you can see all the information you need on every class right there. We've got our tech training days where our whole staff, or 3 or 4 or 5 of our marketing staff, depending on what the day is, will say they'll have a McLean marketing day. Now, not right now because we can't travel out to everybody, but let's assume that we can travel around. Next Monday's McLean marketing day. Well, it says that on the calendar. It says it for weeks ahead of time. People can sign up for individual spots with our marketing staff because they know they're all coming to McLean that day. Next Friday, they're all going to Alexandria, or next Tuesday, they're all going to Columbia. And you can sign up for one-on-one meetings with our staff. So it's Maybe it's branding videos with Ethan. So you can set up a one-on-one video for free. Ethan will set up with you, video you, put together a great branding video. So you can sign up all those things online right there on the Nest, but you can also sign up for one-on-one social media sessions with our social media manager, Aaron, with video training with Ethan, general training with several of our marketing coordinators, a bunch of different things. So they bring social media workshops all around to people.
So when they go
video workshops.
when they go to a place, you're saying don't they do like an hour and a half seminar first?
Right. So
to teach, and
typically they'll do like a social media workshop to start the day, 9:30 to 10:30, and then Aaron will do one-on-ones the rest of the day. And then maybe Ethan will do one-on-ones throughout the day, and then he'll do like a video workshop near the end of the day because they don't want to run their two workshops at the same time.
Okay.
So that people could theoretically go to both workshops if they want to. But
Good.
We're bringing small group classes to those places and one-on-one training. Some people could always come to Chantilly, but what we want to do is bring the training out to people. And as we grow in locations, we'll have more of these staff members that are traveling around to everybody, bringing the one-on-one training, bringing the group training. So the calendar is a huge component that gets tons of hits on the Nest because it's constantly being updated with what's going on, and how to sign up. So people are very reliant on, even if I get lost in the sea of emails or what's going on, I can always go to the calendar, see everything going on, RSVP, or just click right there to log on to the Zoom or whatever it is nowadays. So the calendar is a huge component of it. So some of our main features announcements, we got those announcements. It's the place to be. The one thing we do on the announcements, which is really cool, is we thank everybody that uses Cardinal Title Group every day. And it's a way to make sure that everybody realizes it is a bedrock of our company. We can't pay them, we can't incentivize them, we talk about all those things, but everybody loves to see their name in lights,
That's right.
Announced at the sales meeting as a thank you, but also put on the Nest, every day. If today's Thursday, we're going to thank everybody that uses Cardinal Title Group on Wednesday. All day, they're going to be on the front page of the Nest as a thank you and as an acknowledgement that they're helping to build this thing and keep this machine going. So that's a really cool thing. We're always posting latest videos. We've got links on the right to Dotloop. So part of what we provide for agents is free Dotloop for everybody. So that is our document management. So there's, a lot of people pay good money for Dotloop. 3-4 years ago now, I guess, I dove into all the different transaction management softwares because we wanted to have one great one for the whole company for how we did our contracts. And we decided on Dotloop was the best one for our company. And a lot of your companies might already use Dotloop. So that's one thing that factored into our decision was if so many companies are using and liking Dotloop now, it's going to make such an easy transition for so many agents. So we pay for Dotloop for free for everybody. So there's links to there, helpful videos, helpful articles, all that right there on the homepage. They can help with that. If your agents don't love Dotloop or you use it forms or something, that's fine. A, we'll teach them how to do it. But B, we don't require that people use Dotloop every step of the process. We offer it to them for free. We really just make sure that agents turn in their files through Dotloop so that we have one great compository so it's syncing to our system, and that's how we have to turn stuff in. But if people are in love with zip forms and DocuSign, or I always joke, if Dan the man here, if he was still writing contracts, he might still be pen and paper. I'm just joking. If that's what you are, that's okay. I would say maybe we need to learn the computer at some point. But I'm okay with any system you want to use. I just need you to turn it in at the end of the day through Dotloop. But people have loved it. We've had raving reviews on Dotloop, and we teach tons of great classes. We teach one-on-one training, group classes, and we've got lots of videos on there of Dotloop classes to help people get going because it cuts out a lot of costs for people for document software, for e-signature stuff, for PDF editing, for Dropbox. Lots of expenses that they may have been paying can all be encompassed in Dotloop that we're now paying for them. So,
and you described it to me a long time ago as instead of when you went to write a contract, you had 4 different platforms going all into one, and this brought it all together.
Yeah, I mean, me personally, I was zip forms to write it, DocuSign to e-sign it, a PDF editor to edit the PDFs, at some point during a contract, or else I had to print them and write them and scan them, but nobody wanted to do that. A Dropbox to store all the stuff in one spot for a folder, and then some type of software to turn it into the office. Back then we had Track My File, but everybody has something you have to turn into the office. So I was touching 5 different programs that now I can do everything in Dotloop's universe. I'm editing it all, I'm doing it, I'm writing, I'm e-signing it, all for free, and then when I'm done, I just click the button to submit, and it goes into the office. So it really does make it a lot smoother process. They have apps, they've got desktop versions and every kind of software. So it really has been good. So the Cardinal Nest has our great announcements. It's got our calendar. It's got our dot loop. It's got latest videos. It's got links to orientations that we do, podcasts that we do. We've got links out to Cardinal Title Group, a whole page on Cardinal Title Group and how to work with them. First Heritage Mortgage, our loan partners, our message board system.
Contractors.
Yeah, recommended contractor database. The two biggest ones, really outside of that, all that stuff, well, I'll say a couple more. I'll end with the two big ones. But the office locations, now right now we're at 23, but we could be at 25, 30, 35. Well, you say, well, how do I know how to use all these offices? You just mentioned I can use them all. We've got a great location directory right there. We click locations, and if you're out in Vienna today, you're like, well, what's the Vienna address? How do I get in there? We've got a whole Vienna page set up for each office that it's like pictures of the office, how to get in, who the manager is, who the admin is, what the Wi-Fi passwords were, how to connect to the printers, anything you could possibly need so that if you were driving around on a Saturday with a client, need to pop in, get access to that office, it's lockbox or combo, get in, use it. Now if it's open, but you can get in, use it, get on the Wi-Fi, do whatever you need to do.
Right.
And be out. And there's an admin and manager's information there. If it is off hours, you need to contact them because you had a question you couldn't figure out from the location page. So the location directory is huge. It really helps us to be able to function and people to travel around because you don't want 23 keys on your keychain, but you want the ability to be able to get into all 23 offices if you have to.
And each office has different idiosyncrasies, where we hide in the lockbox, what are all the things to that are unique to that office.
Because some of them need fobs, some of them don't. Depends if they're in big secure buildings or exterior buildings you can get into. So everything's a little bit different.
And we typically have hidden the access fobs and keys in a lockbox somewhere on the property typically. So that you can access that, get the keys, let yourself in, and then put it back in the lockbox when you leave.
Yep. Everybody's got a central lock or a combo box each place. So that works good with the location guide. We've got a really great agent and staff directory as part of the Cardinal Desk, which is great where, okay.
I use that all the time.
Yes. It's great because you don't know, you can find any realtor in our companies, name, phone number, pictures, hopefully if they've put them in there, bios. So you get to know who the people are, but maybe it's great for referrals within the network. Okay, right now you work in Columbia. Well, you've got a client that wants to move to Tyson's. Well, either A, you're not licensed in Virginia, or you don't want to go to Virginia to do this deal. It's an hour away from your home. We can easily go in, search for realtors that speak a certain language, work in a certain area, have a certain level of experience. Do they work residential, commercial, rentals? You can search by all these things. And it pops up all the agents that match that criteria within our company.
That's awesome.
Which is great. So you can find a partner, right now we work in Chantilly, right? Well, what if I had, and I did actually. My pastor just came in and said, I want to move to Fredericksburg. And I said, well, let me pull up the directory and I can find a great agent in Fredericksburg that is, meets the criteria that I think would be a good fit for them. So you've got all that stuff available to you at any given time that can help find referrals, help partners to work with. Maybe it's you've got a rental that listing you've got, it's 30, 40 minutes away. You don't want to drive out every single time a tenant wants to see the property. Well, you can easily either post on the message board or go into the directory, find a couple tenant partners that will show tenant reps to you and take those tenant reps off your hands. So it's
broker support's big.
It's a great thing. So you got agents and then you've got brokers. So we got to pay for brokers. Right now we've about probably 15 or 20 brokers on there that all are paid by the company that can all answer questions at any given time. Now obviously our top dog here, our managing broker, is Mike Briggs, who's the best in the business. We love Mike, and he's phenomenal, but we want to have brokers and managers all over the place for people, in the individual offices. So a lot of people will go to their local support first, or if they got a big problem, they'll come to Mike. But Mike is fantastic. But all the brokers, if they click brokers link, they all come up there, all with phones, emails, contact information, so they can reach a plethora of different people. If maybe they're used to coming to you, but you're out of town or you're whatever, and they're not accessible, well, they can click on here and find anybody.
It takes the pressure off you. So
right.
If for some reason, like Donnie said, if for some reason you're out of touch today, it's okay. They just go to the next broker, call them, get the question answered.
Yep.
It takes a lot of pressure off you to always have to hold everybody's hand all the time.
Right. So
a lot of brokers.
They love to have that list of 20 people available to them. So the brokers link is great. We've got Cardinal Title and First Heritage links up there as well, so you can find all the staff members on there, because sometimes it's nice to put a picture with a face. Who's this processor I'm working with? If I haven't met them except virtually, you don't know who that is, or you don't know who the manager is or who the best contacts are. Everything's on those pages in the directories as well. So we've got lots of great stuff embedded within the Nest there. But our two biggest features actually that come off the Nest are, not that I haven't said 10 huge ones already, but one, it's got direct links for all of our videos and stuff directly to Samson University right from the Nest. So you have to log into the Nest and you can get to all of Samson University and all of our video library right from the Nest, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
And the second one is our Resource Center. So our Resource Center is like, it's our library is the way I describe it. It has every single document of every single thing that we ever do. So we have graphics for this. We have an updated ICA. We've got whatever things that we could possibly post, they're going into the Nest. So you never have to be like, where do I find this form? You can go to the Resource Center. You can search by keyword. You can search by topic, and every single form is in there. People say, how do I find the commission disbursement form? Or how do I find the direct deposit form? They don't have to search or ask. They can go in there, click a button, search. It's right there that they can find it very easily. So the Resource Center people love. So that's kind of the general information, but the best part about the Resource Center is all of our templates. So, we've got templates for everything. You can click just listed and there's 20 different postcard templates. You can go to just sold, you can go to open house, you can go to whatever it is that you want to do. Brochures, we have tons of 2-page brochure templates, 4-page brochure templates, 8-page brochure templates. So newsletter templates. We have everything under the sun right in there built out for them so they can download that postcard or download that brochure or newsletter to their computer, take my picture out, put their picture in, take my words out, put their words in, they've got a postcard.
Email it to the print center. They didn't even they didn't get out of their pajamas.
Right. So we've got detailed directions on how to do that, or detailed videos on explaining them, or we've got people that can, physically walk them through it. Once you get the process down, it's pretty easy. But people can download the stuff to Publisher or to Pages, whether they're a Mac user or a PC user. So it's really user-friendly.
That's what's brilliant about it, is that you can download these things immediately to your stuff and make the alterations and send it in.
Absolutely, because people don't know where to start.
It's so user-friendly. The realtors love it because it's so user-friendly. Mm-hmm. You can order 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, the great thing about it is and we won't get into the print center yet. Well, I won't get into the print center yet. I'll leave that go. And then the one thing with the Resource Center that I like that you've put for like top producers and what they want in their listing presentations, and you've put that all together, and that's always moving because you have new things coming in.
Yes, that's actually one page I forgot. It's the top resources page. So we've got, I forgot that we've added a couple pages here, but the top resources page is basically my top 20 hits. These are the 20 things I want you to be able to find easily. So we've got the listing presentation where you click that. It's got a full listing presentation template that you can modify, save. Now you've got a beautiful listing presentation. How to win a bid series, easy links right there. We've got stuff to the Concierge Center, stuff to Print Center, any kind of most used form, it's going to be right there. Any topic that we bring up that it's like, this is very topical, COVID addendums right now. They're going to go right there, so it's easier for people to find. Anything that I want to make sure is easy for you to recoup later and get back to it, easily, we're going to put in that top Resource Center so you don't have to look for it at all. So that's a really great place to look, first of all. The other big thing that we've really added is a KV Core section, because it's going to be such a staple of our company going forward. We've got a whole page and a whole setup for KV Core, which will have tons of videos. We're going to add lots of trainings, lots of how-tos. Right now it's got FAQs and a couple videos in it now. But as we grow, there's going to be KV Core tips of the week. KV Core, we have a KV
tons
Core
of video training,
message boards. We've got links to tons of different things that you can learn there. So a whole universe right there. So basically our whole idea is that if we build this internet and this one site that everybody goes to, they can find everything. It's very easy to find. It's very easy to be clued into our whole universe. And the cool part is that once people get in there, they're like, they can spend days in there trying to look at all the stuff and find all the stuff, but it's so easy to find is what we try to look at it as making sure that it's easy to use is the key, and making sure that, because we know not everybody's that great on the computer. They're coming along, they're learning, they're realtors, they're not tech savants, so we want to make sure that it's easy to find, easy to download, easy to use, so that's always our goal.
Well, and one of the things by doing that, Donnie, is as you do classes, and I know we've been doing this for a couple of years now, as classes are being taught, there might be 8 or 10 different topics in that class. Well, somebody that wants to watch that class may not want to watch the whole hour.
Right.
So these guys are breaking it out in 8 or 10 different topics, so it's easy to search later, and it's easy just to pick that one topic you really want to focus on and watch that 5 minutes without having to go through the whole hour.
Right. So we do a lot. And that a lot will come in through Samson University, so that we're segmenting stuff in Samson University by you can search by keyword, so that you can find all the different videos that have been labeled that at certain times. So we are really trying to organize the Cardinal Nest to search by keyword, lots of different great topics, a whole universe that they can navigate in one website. And the only thing that connects off of it really is Samson University, which is just the whole video library that you can search by keyword, by topic. And it really is just makes it so easy to teach people, for them to be engaged, to cut down their questions, and to really help them feel like they're a part of everything, where we're always posting updates and always posting fresh content every single day, multiple things. So it's very evolving, and it's going to just grow.
It makes them a better realtor. It makes them a more efficient, better realtor.
Absolutely.
Period. End of sentence. They
Absolutely.
have access to everything and how to use it, and it makes them a great realtor. They're going to get more business because of this.
Because it's one thing if you have 15 people or 25 people in this office, and we're all going to talk, and everybody's going to kind of know all the things we talk about. But as you get bigger and wider, you want everybody to not miss stuff. So you got to really put it in a great spot that it's easier for people to refine later and research. I'm not naive enough to think they're going to listen to every single word that comes out of our mouth at every class. But if we make it easy for them to find later and search and make sure we're constantly posting it and reposting it, then everybody's going to be getting the great stuff that we're trying to put out to people. So,
and every day you're changing the morning announcement, right? I mean, there's a fresh morning announcement every day of something that's hot or something that's going on in the company that folks might want to know about. So every day we change that announcement, and it's very important, and hopefully the agents will get on and look at it and stay right on top of everything.
Yeah, so the Cardinal Nest has really just been transformational when it comes to our company, and it was, I think it's accomplished a lot of the goals we hoped to when we put together that great intranet for all of our agents, and we're only going to expand on it, but the keys to that are really foundational for, if you're looking at your brokerage and joining and converting into ours, is that they can now have the keys to this great intranet with this whole world opened up to them, that they're just going to get new ideas and new stuff every day from how they can better their business, or frankly, if you're engaged because you're smart and you're a business leader, that you're like, oh, I didn't think about this. This might be a way that I can run my business, or I can help our agents in our office become better. So there's just fresh ideas. We can't come up with all those ideas ourselves, but having fresh thoughts, fresh classes, fresh conversations.
Your input.
By 3,000 agents, 3,100 agents, and all these brokers and managers really helps all of us grow together and get better. So that's really kind of the keys to it. But it's just been fantastic, and the calendar, being able to organize everything in one place, everyone knowing how to get everywhere, all of our great on-site training and tech support training. I mean, the Cardinal Nest is a huge win, and I could talk about it for hours, but getting in there, we have full classes just on how to navigate the Cardinal Nest if you need help. But it's really, we really try to make it pretty easy so people can do it.
Well, the reason to me, Donnie, why what you're doing is so significant, this coronavirus was a perfect example. Everything was changing minute by minute as life was going on. And if you were a realtor trying to do business and make money, your state, you had all kinds of different requirements. And you guys kept up on that every second. You were putting up new videos, new addendums, new things that were going on. So I know it exposed a lot of companies, especially smaller companies. I know a lot of the owners felt vulnerable in a way that, am I keeping my realtors up to date with all the knowledge to get out there and get business? Am I really doing a good job for them? Well, don't worry about that anymore, because that's what this guy does. I mean, I don't think anybody in this country prepared their realtors better than Donnie did for all of our realtors during this last couple of months. I mean, I've never seen so many transformations that's happened, and so much information you gave everybody in the last month. And I'm telling you, we got hundreds of replies back saying,
people are probably tired of hearing from me.
Well, but they absolutely love it, because it kept them in business, Donnie.
I'm joking.
It kept them out there in business.
Because the key is to keep people informed and to give them hope, is that, look, you can still do this business, obviously if you choose to, if you're safe, but, keep them up to date on what the regulations are, how to do stuff more virtually, keep fresh classes from our great staff that were, that kept bringing out great stuff, and video updates all the time, because people, not just words, they want to see videos too. They want to see you. They want to hear you talking to them. So we try to really engage with everybody as much as we could through this period. But it's been good.
You heard a lot of that yesterday when you made that call to the company that just joined us, and you had 20 of them on the phone, 20 of the agents, and I think a lot of them had been on the Nest and sound like, this is incredible.
They were loving it.
They were just, you feel that excitement.
Yeah.
You hear that excitement.
Yeah, that's good.
And it's got to make you feel good creating something that all these people just love. And it's so much fun, because you're making them better.
Right.
You're going to make a lot of realtors better. You're going to make a broker owner and someone that converts to us a really, really happy person. You're going to take 1,000 pounds off your shoulders and get into all this system so they don't have to worry about all that stuff.
Exactly. You know, it's tough because you think about, you know, but I mean, you give me a lot of credit, which I'm thankful for, but we've got a great staff, and to be able to implement all these things, it's very difficult if we only had 20, 30, 40, 50 realtors and only a certain amount of income coming through. I couldn't have 5, 10, 15 great staff members that are here working with me, and then, you know, obviously at a larger level, 40, 50, 60 for the whole company, you know, to really help implement these things and make sure everything looks good. But, you know, so I appreciate the credit, but really, you can't do it on that one level. Even if I was the smartest person in the world, which I'm not even close to, I can't do all these things myself. You know, even if I had my own brokerage of 50 people, it's because I've got great staff, because of all of us working together and supporting Cardinal. We can afford all these great staff members that can really pour into all these 23 offices and 3,100 agents and all this stuff. So that's really what stirs the drink, is having great people that can help us really serve everybody. And that's really what's cool. And that's why I think if I were in watching this, I'd be like, I want to get on board with that, because I want that great support that can help my realtors grow and become better and help me grow with them. So I think that's really the cool part about the Nest and what we're doing here.
You know, Donnie, I'm looking on here, podcasts. You do a lot of podcasts. You film some podcasts, and they're always on the Nest.
I do. So our podcasts are linked on the Nest.
And what you're doing is, I know you've interviewed our top agents in the business.
Yes.
So our realtors can tune into this and listen to what are the top agents in our, and we got people doing 80, 90, 100 million that you're interviewing. You're having a good hour-long podcast with them. That is really informative for our agents.
I think I'm up to about 25 podcasts or 23 or something now, and we're continuing to do them. And the great part is we're trying to keep them topical, interviewing top agents. So they can go back and watch any one of them. They can watch listen or watch any of them. A lot of them are audio, some are video and audio, but I'm always trying to interview our top agents, other interesting people in the industry I might come across, some of our teachers about cool topics, you know, just anything that I think would be relevant to, if I were an agent, would I want to hear this? You know, so I try to make them very informative on how to get better. We try to make them fun and throw in some jokes and have a good time with it, because, you know, we want to. It wants to be a good listen too, right? And we've got some good characters, and we've had some great stories. You know, when you have a great company like us, we've got a lot of good, amazing people that have accomplished a lot of things, and I'm just hitting the tip of the iceberg on how many great people that I can interview in our company. So we do have our podcast, trying to keep up with it, you know, to give fresh content out there all the time. And people come all the time, they're like, I listen to your podcast, I learned this and I learned that, and that's cool, you know, because when you do it, you're like, is anybody listening? But, you know, then Ethan tells me later, this many people listen. I was like, oh, that's cool. Hopefully they got some stuff from it, you know.
And you touched earlier just for briefly on branding videos, but we do branding videos for free for agents, right?
Absolutely, yeah. So we've got our great video media guru, Ethan, who I keep referencing because he's behind the camera here. But, you know, he'll tape one-on-one videos for anybody for free. He does a great job editing.
So they can come here anytime in Chantilly and get it.
Yep.
Or
he travels around to those training days, McLean, Alexandria, Columbia, wherever they are, and people can set one-on-one appointments, tape them. And I wouldn't, you know, back when I was selling, before we had Ethan and staff here, you know, I had to pay $500 for that. You know, I would go to somebody's studio, I'd tape for an hour and get, you know, 5 good minutes out of it, and I'd put that video, you know, on my website or some of my social media ads, but I had to come out of pocket $500 for that, you know, whereas, you know, we're taking care of Ethan to make sure that he can serve all of our realtors there. So it's a really great concept, and a lot of our agents take advantage of it, but some don't because they're afraid, but they shouldn't be, because video is the way the world's going.
That's
you know?
right.
And I think after all of this, one silver lining is going to be that people are going to be more comfortable with video than they were 6 months ago. I hate to look for silver linings, and obviously a terrible time, but I think people are more and more getting used to technology and videos.
Yeah.
But you know, you should, every single person's website, in my opinion, should have a real life video that comes to life on the front of their homepage. They need to get to know you as a realtor and get to see your personality, like you know, and or not like you, but you are who you are, and you talk, you look like you look, and you sound like you sound.
But it's a great opportunity to get a great 1 or 2 minute video out there that people can. Because you know and I know that before they list with you, they're going to go to your website and check you out.
Oh, yeah.
And if they see that you're technologically savvy and you got your act together, you got a much better shot of closing that thing.
I often said that 95%, and who knows, you don't interview people, right? But I thought a lot of people had decided whether they were going to hire me or not before I walked in the door, because they had gone to DonnieSamson.com or whatever my website was back then, and they had looked at my videos and looked at my stuff and seen, you know, my history and been like, I feel really, really good about him before he walks in the door, and I haven't hired him yet, but in my head, I'm pretty sure I'm going to work with Donnie, Or on the contrary, if I had a website that didn't exist or was subpar or sparse, then I would have been coming in the door 2 steps behind everybody else. So I wouldn't have wanted to be the person coming in after me that actually had their stuff together with videos and websites and looking good. You know, you want to be, because look, it's 2020. Your website is your business card, you know, and the better you make that website look with videos and content and fresh and looking good, the better. They don't care about your card anymore.
Well, they want to make sure you're tech savvy. And if they go to your website and it's not tech savvy, they're going to say, well, this person's not with it.
Right.
Whereas if you are really tech savvy, they're going, that's my person right there.
Right.
And I think you're right. Casey said the same thing. 95% of the people have already made up their mind before he even walks in the door.
Yeah, because they're not going to say, even if their best friend at work says, hey, you should call Donnie, he's a great realtor. They probably will reach out to Donnie, but before they reach out to me, they're going to Google Donnie Samson, and they're going to see if the website comes up, and they're going to see what I look like, and if I look like a pro, before they just take their friend's advice and just randomly call. People are going to spend, you know, they're talking about paying a realtor $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. They're going to Google you. We all now Google or ask for opinions when we're having a guy cut in to cut our grass or cut trees down or whatever it is. We outsource for opinions on Facebook or friends or wherever it is when we ask for anything right now. I mean, when we're going to lunch today, we go to you know, all the different Yelp sites and say, you know, is this place good? You know, so we ask, because the information's there online, we source for everything. You know, so they're going to source you as a realtor, make sure you look good. And we, with our free branding videos and our free headshots, do our best to make sure you look good, you know, and our tech training and our free websites come in. So, you know, all that stuff is all included when it comes to the nest and the education and the training, and one big ball that makes our realtors really excited about working here.
And again, what keeps coming back to that, Donnie, and what everybody realizes is, and I'm telling you, this is the truth, everybody realizes that they get all these great things because of Cardinal Title. Okay, so that's how they get into using the title company. They realize, geez, my goodness gracious, this company gives me back so many things. The least I can do is help out with the title. So really, it's not like we want you trying to, you know, bend people's ear and trying to, you know, get them in there. They want to come help because they see all the great things that's going on in this company, and they want to help. They truly want to help. Most of them really, truly want to help. Right. And so, you know, it's not like you have to wring their neck and beg them. They really want to be a part of this because they see it growing, and every month they see something new come online.
And they feel like they want to be a part of that paid forward atmosphere because we're pouring into them, and they can see that. You know, we're not hiding away and never looking for ways to improve or good ideas and pouring back into them. They see us trying to give to them every day through the nest and through these classes and through the meetings and all these types of things, and they're like, you know, look, we love it here. We want to keep supporting. So.
We're rolling in tech support, Donnie. I think that really, I think you covered everything on
I think we do. We're ready for our next big topic. This is the passion of my father's.
Well, the Print Center. The Print Center is important. I mean, we give a lot of free postcards for agents when they do open houses. We give them, if they mail postcards to renters, we'll give them first of all, we'll give them 300 free postcards.
Well, let's do this first, if that's okay.
No, yeah.
So we have an in-house print center here in our building in Chantilly, and I would venture to say that we'll probably have many print centers pop up all over the place as we grow wider as well. But right now, behind the wall over here, we have 3 monster machines, you know, which are commercial, industrial grade, huge 16, 17 foot long machines that put out the best stuff. In your packet that a lot of you guys have been mailed, you see the evidence of this great stuff, because your whole theory behind that was, if we can create them in-house, we can make it, one, quicker for people, you know, very quick turnarounds, and cheaper for people because we can either subsidize or we're not actually trying to make money on the print center. Because again, it's never about what I can make off you or what I can charge you. It's how I can make you better. So if we're able to we're going to talk about some free things.
And it helps you recruit. Let's face it, it helps you recruit. When all that print stuff you're looking at right now in your folder, the postcards and the beautiful 4-page, 8-page brochures, that's all done in our print center. And we'll get into the cost in all in a minute. But.
Right. But the idea is that we'll give you free and subsidized stuff, but if we can create it faster in-house and we can create it at a much better price point, then it helps our agents be much more willing to get out there and do stuff. If something costs $1 each, you know, just for instance, they're less likely to do a bunch of them. But if we can get the cost down to 50 cents, then they can do double the amount, or they're much willing to jump in. Because we know if they do these marketing things, they're going to get business out of it. They're going to be more successful. We're going to be successful. We're going to be more happy. But if they have to go to some print center down the street and pay the $1.50 prices, then they're less likely to do the stuff. They're going to neglect print center stuff. Or what they're going to do is they're going to skimp on quality. You know, they can get $1.50 each for this really nice piece to send out down the street, or to get it at 50 cents, they're going to have to do a smaller version in black and white with junky paper. Well, that looks like junk. Or they can get it for 50 cents here, looking great, beautiful, thick paper, all that kind of stuff. So,
four color.
So I think that's the general idea behind the print center. And we started with is we want to be able to produce lots of great stuff for our agents at a cheaper cost and a quicker turnaround. You know, and now, you know, we talk about all the things we do with it.
The thing I loved about it most, Donnie, was I was a big kind of a farming person. I believe in picking out 2,000 homes or 2,000 renters, mailing postcards at 50 cents a piece with postage and everything included, 50 cents, mail to these 2,000 renters on a monthly basis. Now, the great thing about this print center is I can order that print job in 5 minutes. I mean, I can pull up a template, change it once for me, what I want, email it into the print center, and then take my spreadsheet, email that into the print center, and they will actually print these 2,000 postcards and have it out the next day within 24 to 48 hours. Now, the great thing about it is next month when I want to reorder that, I just send in and say, take the same 2,000, do the exact same thing. And by the way, I've changed the template a little bit on my postcard. Send them a new postcard, same 2,000 people, boom. So in 5 minutes, I've changed my postcard and ordered the next 2,000 pieces to go out, and it is done.
Now, as somebody that grew up with this guy as his dad, there were many nights that we had to be putting labels on the table. Yeah. We had to label each one of these postcards. 500 of us, stick the labels on, and he didn't pay us. That was just, you want to eat this month, and you and Bobby are going to be putting on labels with me tonight. So, so I couldn't let you get there. So this has been a passion of his for a long time. Now he's just a print center. When he says you can do this in 5 minutes, you email in something and it just gets done. They print it, they take it to the print center, it gets out.
They mail it, they take it to the post office, they do everything.
That's huge when you talk about all the steps that you had to go through for years and years when you wanted to do similar things.
That's right.
You know, and that's where it's made people's lives so much easier to be able to be able to market farms or to be able to market around houses that they get. So,
well, Donnie, and let me just touch on that before we move. And the key to that to me is if I have to do that through a print center, that beautiful, thick, glossy piece that you're looking at, that would cost upwards of $1.25 a postcard. When you're talking about 2,000 postcards, now all of a sudden that's costing me $2,500 to get this print out. Well, doggone it, that's a lot of money. Now we're doing it 50 cents. Now the 2,000 pieces is costing me $1,000. So it's saving me. Now I can push this out every month and go, wait, I can hit these 2,000 people. I'll do that for $1,000 a month because it's $12,000 a year. If I get one buyer out of this thing, I've paid for it. But I know if I hit 2,000 renters every month with this really beautiful no money down or low money, I can really get a ton of renters coming to me and buying from me. But the ease of it is the key for me.
Yeah.
I got to be able to order that thing in 2 minutes, or I'm not going to do it.
The ease and the price are huge, you know, and that's why, you know, when I was still selling, I could effectively have multiple campaigns going because the price was half of what it would be somewhere else, and the ease of it. You know, I could set up, you know, an investor postcard run, a renter postcard run, a listing postcard run, whatever the things I wanted to market in different areas, I could set those things up, and every 4 or 5 weeks, make sure that I was running them again, make sure I was running again. I'd spend 30 minutes, make sure I had the list the way I wanted it, the postcard the way I wanted it, and I'm out. You know, 30 minutes might be extreme, but maybe I was going over the list with a fine-tooth comb. But, you know, I could redo my mailer in 5, 10, 15 minutes, and it's out, and it was amazing. And then the business just keeps coming. So some things that we help to get people going on this. So
the newsletters, another one.
So we do free postcards. So for every open house that people do, we give 300 free postcards to renters around that house. So if you're selling a house, you know, here, we tell you to go into the ML or into Bright, find the 300 non-owner occupied properties, the renters around that area, pull that into a spreadsheet, send in your postcard. We'll send the first 300 for free out to all the people around there. Why the renters? Because we want to create new buyers for that agent that are going to come to their open house. If you're going to get out of your bed and go Sunday and do an open house, you know, and be out there, and we know that's a struggle at times. We want to help incentivize realtors to do it by getting more people to that property, give them possible buyer clients to it. So we do 300 free postcards to renters for every single open house. And then for every listing that they do, that we do 100 just listed or just sold postcards, or they get a second Facebook ad. Before we talked about Facebook ads, so let me back up a second. I'm combining two thoughts here, but we give, for every open house, we give a free Facebook ad for 3.5 days around to that property, advertising that open house, and 300 free postcards to renters. So we talked about Facebook ads in the KV core section, but I'm bringing it back. So if Danny's doing an open house on Sunday, Thursday, his Facebook ad goes out from Thursday until Sunday afternoon around all the property they're trying to get people to his open house. He also can send in Monday morning 300 free postcards to renters, attracting new people to that open house. If you're going to do the open house, we're going to get tech and print to get more people there, so, and all that's free. So now all of a sudden you're much more incentivized to do an open house. You can add to it
if you want. If you want to add another 200 postcards for $100, go for it.
Right.
I would, because I'm going to do that open. I want a lot of people getting my postcards
Absolutely.
and coming to the open.
Absolutely. So you've got free postcards, free Facebook ad, and you can always add to the Facebook ad or add to the postcards if you want to for an extra cost. And then for each listing, even if you're not doing the open house, the separate thing is we give you either a second Facebook ad for 5 days advertising that new listing that came out, or 100 just listed or just sold postcards. So now if it were me, I'd send 500 out. I want all 500 neighbors around there to know about my new listing. But the first 100 we're going to give you for free so that you can get it out to the 100 neighbors, invite them to your open house if you want, or just invite them to your new listing, tell them to give you a call, but now you're getting your name out. Because the key to anything in real estate, it's not just getting this deal. It's doing a great job for that client so that they refer you and doing an A+ job with customer service, but also how many transactions or people can I create off of this? So it's the Facebook ads, the postcards, so I can hopefully sell the next neighbor's house, the buyers that I met at the open house, the buyers that called off my sign or my internet ads, so hopefully I find a buyer or two off this that I can help find their next home. So I might get 1 or 2 listing calls or 1 or 2 buyer calls, or this person might refer somebody, where I look back in 2 years and this one listing, if you just got one listing off of it, then you weren't doing it right. The key is to look back in 2 years and say, this one listing created 8 different clients for me. And those 8 clients created 10 different clients for me.
That's right.
You know, so we always talk about the analogy of you're creating a branch. Every listing or every client that I have is a branch on my tree. What I want is lots of branches that splinter off of that and lots of stuff going off, or the tree's going to die eventually, right? So the key is that we're going to help you do is, or we're helping all our realtors do with print and with Facebook ads, is get a running start at creating those extra clients that are coming to the open houses or clicking on one of the listings. So the print center is fantastic. We're giving you free stuff for postcards and free stuff on just listed and open houses. And
free brochures, as those beautiful brochures you're looking at right there. We give out free brochures, and if you want to upgrade it to one of the upgraded papers, then they're I can't remember, it's 25 cents a piece now.
So we do.
Oh my gosh.
So we do free brochures, free color printing, normal printing in all of our offices. So we give free color printing if anybody wants to come at the standard, they come in any of the offices and the colors, they want to print normal listings for their stuff or normal standard brochures, they can do all that for free. If you want print center stuff here, brochures down, we give you free. We run 30 at a time and say don't run 100, run 30. If you need more 30 next week, come on back. But we need free color brochures. Now, if you're going to upgrade to the thicker paper that you're looking at, the 4-page premium brochure, we charge 50 cents each. But people came to us and it's like, this is $2 if I go to a print center for something like this.
Times that by 50 and 20 listings this year.
Right. So it's great to have a beautiful representation. And then the next step, which I would do on any kind of nice single family or anything over $500-600 grand if it were me, is we have an 8-page premium brochure that you're looking at there. And people are like, that's got to be $350. You know, if I go to a print center, I get 8 pages of premium goodness in there.
Yeah.
You know, well, we charge just 75 cents.
75 cents.
So 75 cents for 8 pages of beautiful premium paper. Bleeds all the way to the edge. And the key is you put that in front of a seller, and they're going to love you. And there's 3 main reasons. One, you want to get the listing. And to me, if you show them this 8-page beautiful listing, all the Facebook ads and print, you're going to get that listing. So you want the beautiful print stuff to help you get the listing. Because look, we all know that brochures aren't going to sell the house probably, but they're going to sell that seller. They want the beautiful listing, brochure in their house. And then the second thing is you want them to, once you get the listing, you want your seller to be proud of you. Every day when they walk by, they want to be proud of the brochure that they're walking into work and showing off, or that they're seeing on their counter every day. Because every day, if their house is on the market, it's a struggle, right? But every day they walk past their kitchen counter, you want them to be proud of the beautiful brochure that their realtors put together, because it makes you look like a pro. The third most reason the third reason that I would always have amazing brochures in my listings is the neighbors and people that are coming in.
Yeah.
Every single person that walks in that house, whether you know it or not, they're interviewing you, the realtor. It's either a 2-minute interview or a 10-minute interview, depending on how long there is there. But they're evaluating the signage you've always had on the street, how you've been marketing it online, and then when they get in the house, how do you market it in the house? And if they walk out with this beautiful brochure, they're going to keep that and be like, you know what? I'm going to sell in a year or two, or 3 years. I'm going to remember Donnie. He did an A+ job on the internet. He did an A+ job out front on the signage. He did an A+ job when I got in this house with these beautiful brochures. I'm going to remember him.
Yeah.
You know, so I think all those reasons are why we think it's beautiful or great to have, you know, this high-class, high-end print center that people can get and we can deliver out to the offices through our runner system very easily.
At a fraction of the cost.
At a fraction of the cost and quicker training. The other thing we offer in conjunction with this is we said we got tons of templates on the Cardinal Nest. We also have a graphic designer in-house. So, you know, if you wanted to outsource and have your own designs made, you know, it might cost you a couple $100 just to get your own templates made if you don't like ours. Well, our graphic designer works for $30 an hour for realtors to be able to custom design anything they want. So if they want custom design graphics or postcards or brochures, to set them up a template that they can use every time. You know, our designers work for just $30 an hour to make sure that you're set up beautifully so you've got a great template for postcards and brochures and whatever it is that you want. Now you can just continue to reuse those every time if you want.
Change the property address, and
exactly.
you're good to go.
So we have free training in person, free training in video, how-to things, how to do all these things for the print center, because part of that scares some people. Is like, well, I don't know how to create this stuff, but we've made it really easy, and we help people hold their hands through those first couple times so they really know how to do it. And from there, nobody has any issues because we really have made between the nest and the instructions and the print center and how to do everything, we've made everything so simple that it's easy to replicate.
Well, I'll give you one good example. I think there's hundreds of them, but I'll give you a good one. Our top team right now, Casey, my brother, they do about 80 to 100 million a year that they do. And he flat out tells me that the 12,000 postcards he puts out every month, and he orders it, again, in 2 minutes he can order this. Casey has a really good listing rate, okay, because he wants to get a lot of listings, so he has a good listing rate. Well, he puts out these 12,000 postcards every month, first of the month, the same 12,000 people, and his phone rings every month for another 8 or 10 or 15 listings that he gets. And he has told us, in fact, remember when the printers went down for a day or two? Casey was absolutely freaked out because he's got to get these postcards out or his phone stops ringing. But when people think, oh, print media, do they still do print mail? You're darn right they still do print mail. Ask Casey. He's got a team of 6 that they're our #1 team.
Right.
100 million a year. And they rely solely on those postcards to make that phone ring. Now, you got a lot of referrals, hopefully, and like you said, neighbors, things.
Sure.
But for the most part, Casey relies heavily on this print that we do for him.
The thing that I like about it is, you know, because I am very new school in the way that I'm very tech and into all that stuff, but you always wonder when you put tech ads out, like, are they really hitting the target? I know that they say, okay, I've targeted it the way that I want to, but I know when I put a postcard or a newsletter or something in the mail or whatever I'm putting in the mail, I know the 100 addresses or the 500 addresses or the 1,000 addresses that it's going to because I've individually picked the houses based on street, neighborhood, price point, whatever it is that you decide to pick your list by, and I've gone to them. You know, so there's a trust factor with the print center and with print media that I still had. You know, so as into tech as I was never a big high-end buyer of internet ads, and it's not because I would say they don't work, because some people do it that way, but we know tried and true print still exists. I know who it's going to. I'm not privy to the world of whatever Realtor.com and Zillow or whatever decides to change their patterns or their pricing, then all of a sudden I can't control how my leads are coming in or what the price point is on it.
Donnie,
So,
exactly.
So that was the comforting thing about print, and that's why we've made a big investment in the print center and making sure it's available, giving free incentives, giving reduced prices, because, you know, look, we'll readily admit we lose money every month in the print center. That's fine. We don't care. What we're looking at is, as a dollar amount, sure, we lose money. But the 200,000 pieces that go out of here every month to different houses, we know we're making that money back. Yeah, can we attach it to it? Who knows? Because not everybody says, I came to you because I got your stuff. But we know that if 200,000 beautiful pieces are going out, we're getting that business back in the door that's helping pay for the delta there. and we're getting it in happy realtors, and that's the key.
Happy realtors, because that's why realtors keep sending us their friends, and they keep joining us because of all these great things that we've created as a company here.
So the print center's really a bedrock of our company. We would only anticipate that to continue to grow as we've gone. We have 3 higher power machines. At some point we'll go to 4. At some point we'll have them probably placed around the area as we grow, around the DMV and the other areas as well. So, I think the print center and that idea is definitely a concept that we're going to continue to grow with because we think it's a really important staple of our company going forward.
Yeah, it's wonderful. You guys, we just perfected it. 3 months ago we had 1 machine. Now we got 3 of them, and probably 6 months from now we'll have 2 more of those big machines in there. It's beautiful. The realtors love it, and that's one of the reasons why they love this company so much and why they recommend it to all their friends is because of all these things. And the print center is a big one because it's so easy. The guys in there that run it are very nice to work with. They're very generous people. I've never heard one person complain about the print center.
Right. No.
And they get it done out. They get it out quick. You need a brochure done. You need something done. They're getting it out within 24 to 48 hours. It's out. It's in the mail or it's in your listing. It's in their listing.
Because the one concern people will be, it's also staffed nights and weekends, which is a key, which I forgot to mention because, there's only so much you can do from 8 to 4, right, or whatever the hours are. So we actually have a great staff that comes in at nights and weekends to complete lots more jobs because as we grow, not only do we need more machines, we need more staff, but if it's open longer hours, then we can create a lot more inventory coming out the door. So that helps a lot on turnaround times because we're actually staffing it at nights and weekends as well.
And Donnie, you also we're providing the realtors now with a nice 4-page newsletter every month, right? We give them a newsletter. They can get in there, modify that newsletter, any one of the pages. They can modify it the way they like it, and then email the newsletter in and mail the newsletter out. How much is that now? Is that $1 in the mail?
So the newsletter's $1 in the mail, 4-page.
All color, full color.
Yep.
Full bleed.
Right, full bleed, beautiful 4 pages that you can modify how you want. And it's $1 with postage included, which is big because the postage on a premium 4-page piece is 50, 60 cents each, really, believe it or not. So it's $1 each to be able to print all these beautiful newsletters, mail them out, and it's a great way to farm because people look at it and say, well, I can do a postcard for 50 cents or I can do the 4-page for $1. But
4 full pages.
The 4 full pages gives you a lot more, room to write stuff.
In fact, that's what Casey did. Casey went from 12,000 postcards.
Casey's gone to a lot from postcards to the
He went from 12,000 postcards to 12,000 newsletters.
Right. Now it's costing him, $12,000 instead of $6,000, but you're getting 4 times the bandwidth and what information to write, and it looks much more impressive. We get a lot of postcards, but how many times do you get a 4-page, beautiful, premium, 4-page thing in your mail that you're like, wow, you can really tell a story.
He's displaying his new listings in it, in the neighborhood. And then of course, again, at listing presentations. This helps him at listing. He's showing them, these are all the things I'm doing for you if you list with me.
Well, if it were me, and some people take the advice, some people don't, the 4-page newsletter should be for two main purposes. And Casey uses it a lot for hitting a big farm or a big area he wants to go to. But I'd do one of 2 things with it. I'd have one that was my sphere of influence newsletter, which goes to the 300 or 400 or 500 people that I consider my sphere of influence. And that's going to be more about the real estate market in general, maybe some of my listings, maybe a little bit about me, but make it more something hopefully people want to read, but they're reminded every month that I'm the professional realtor with this beautiful piece. You might be like, oh, my people give me referrals anyway. Well, yeah, they do, but let's say I sent it to 300 people every month times 12. It's $3,600. Do you think they're going to give me, over a whole year, those 300 people are going to give me at least half of one referral more than they would have if I wasn't sending them this beautiful newsletter? I think they will. I think the more they're reminded about me, the more likely I'm going to get more business off of them. So I would send a sphere newsletter, and then I'd have a separate one that would be about the farm. So say I'm you in a particular neighborhood, like Franklin Farm, which you referenced earlier. That Franklin Farm, what I would modify more to make myself the neighborhood expert. If I'm going to send it to 500 homes at Franklin Farm, then I'm going to modify it with the calendar events, the listings that have gone on in that neighborhood recently, the listings that have sold. They can see what's going on in that neighborhood. You can't send something to a neighborhood and just be general or standard. Well, they don't really care, right? If you're going to position yourself as a neighborhood expert, be the neighborhood expert. Spend 30 minutes or an hour once a month and modify it to make sure that it's got the congratulations to the swim team, and remember we got the big movie on the town green, or congratulations to the Little League team, or the big yard sale, the recent real estate transactions, or whatever it is that's relevant to that thing. Maybe the local elementary or middle school or high school has cool things going on. Reference that in there. Now all of a sudden you do look like a neighborhood expert. So I'd have a neighborhood farm, that I was doing, but I would make sure that it looked good for that. And then I'd have a sphere newsletter, which was going to people about me, my business, how things were going, because I think they're 2 different purposes. But for $1 each in premium 4-page fashion, they're fantastic outlays of cash that I think you get your money back.
Yeah, exactly right. What else in the print center? Is that everything down in the print center? I mean,
that's everything I can.
We could go on
that I
and
love.
on. And again, you'll see more about it in Donnie's the Lunch and Learn video that we've also attached to this. He gets into all this stuff again, so you can hear it all again in the Lunch and Learn.
Yes. Yes.
Good. All right. Good, buddy.
Next big topic is the Cardinal Concierge Services.
Okay.
So, what we did with Cardinal Concierge Services is this: when you were selling and when I was selling, we had assistants, right? And great, you have an assistant. Way to brag, Donnie. It's not about that. It's about the only way that you can get from 2 or 3 or 5 million to 10 million to 20 million to 30 million is with admin help. Because if you spend all your time in the mud doing all the little stuff and you spend all day putting together a bright listing and a brochure, your brain is not freed up to go get the next deal or be able to serve your clients, better on the phone or better through email or going to have coffee with clients or do all these activities, being out and getting the next transaction and the next partner and going to the 2 listing appointments or going to make that buyer appointment. All the things that you could be better spending your time on and not the paperwork.
And let's face it, you have a finite amount of energy every day. And if you spend 2 or 3 hours doing brochures and entering listings in the MLS, that takes a lot of energy out of you.
You have a finite amount of 3 things, really: time, money, and energy.
Yeah.
And if you're spending all your time and energy on things that aren't as productive, spend a little bit of your money on that so you can go spend your time and energy on stuff that'll make you more money. And I think that
Join a couple clubs, spend time with those.
Exactly. So what the idea was behind this is this. With the concierge services, a lot of people can't jump in and pay a full-time assistant $50,000 a year or $25,000 a year to split one or something like that. So we wanted to create the ability for our realtors to have in-house assistance on a transaction by transaction basis. So maybe you only do 8 transactions. So you don't want to write a check for $25,000. But if you have the ability to have assistance when you need it, it helps people out more. So we have 2 sets of Cardinal Concierge Services. We've got our listing marketing services. So those specialists help you to launch a listing. They're going to put your listing on Bright. They're going to put together your brochure, your postcards, your just
Facebook.
sold, just open house, Facebook, or just sold, just listed open house, any kind of postcards you want to do. All your Facebook ads, make sure they do the digital portions of it. So they're going to make sure it looks good on all the websites. They're going to handle everything from beginning to end and make sure the listing launches and looks great on the listing marketing end.
How much is that?
So it's either $150 or $250, depending on all the services that you want. The coolest part about that $150 or $250 is that you can pay for it at closing, which people love. Instead of having to pay the $150 right now out of their pocket or $250, you miss it a lot less when it comes out of your $10,000 check at closing when you sell that listing. So $150 or $250 for the Cardinal services. We have, right now, I think it's 18 or 20 people that are trained up in the listing marketing package services. All the admins at a lot of our major offices all around the area are trained up to help in these things so that you can either work with the people back at headquarters that work on it. We've got 3 of each service back at Chantilly. Or we have all the people in the individual offices. So if you want to walk in and say you work in Columbia, well, I want to work with the admin assistant that's in Columbia because I can see her face-to-face or I can see him face-to-face. Well, great. Then you work with the person in Columbia. They're trained up. They can do your packages there. So the listing marketing package is the first half of it.
And Donnie, let me just, because if the listing doesn't sell, I know some people think if the listing doesn't sell, then we'll get it on the next listing.
Yeah,
right?
We'll attach it later to your bill.
Yeah.
So you give us the $150 later. Eventually, you're going to sell that house, hopefully. Well, hopefully,
or another one.
Or another one. Transaction coordination is the second one. So transaction coordinator. So what I did is I went around. I got 7 different transaction coordinators and what they did and what they charged. And the average was anywhere from $350 to $450 a pop for transaction coordination in the industry. And a lot of you guys have probably seen similar results. So I took that, came up with a list of what we wanted our transaction coordinators to do.
It's a long list.
And it's like 22 or 23 items. So they've got all these things that they do. And basically they work as your assistant from contract to closing to make sure that the listing goes successfully. We charge our agents only $150 a pop. So $150, so less than half, really a half to a third of the going rate on the market out there because, look, do we lose money on that? Absolutely. But we think we're gaining in the long run because agents are becoming much more efficient. They're happier. They're getting their deals done. They're getting more referrals. And they're consistently happier. They're consistently more productive if they're using these services.
Retention.
Yeah, so
retention.
So 150 a pop, and again, we can pay for it at closing, which is so cool because now you can have an assistant to launch your listing, have an assistant to be your TC from contract to closing, charge me $300-400 at closing, whatever package you decide to do, and you don't miss it out of your $10,000 at closing because you were just so happy that you had somebody holding your hand doing all this paperwork from beginning to end. You didn't have to pay somebody 25 grand a year, pay them $400 the 10 times a year you needed it. It cost $4,000, and you had a full-time assistant. You've got a team now of people helping you to serve your clients better, which
and
is
they
phenomenal.
get to know each other when they're doing everything. They get to know each other really, really good. You get the same person every time they're doing the same thing. But one of the things I love most about it, well, two things. One, the first thing I want to mention, Donnie, is that I always held so true when you said this to the realtors. When you're a listing agent, there's 30 or 40 different things you can do. And if nobody's watching you, you might skip 5 or 10 of those things because the seller doesn't know, right? Seller doesn't know if you don't do this or you don't do that. Well, by hiring the listing marketing specialist, they're going to do every one, all 30 of these, and the other 8 or 10 things that you wouldn't have that you may have skipped. Those are the things that bring you the leads. Those are the you know, the assistant's going to do everything and make sure it's all done every time. That's going to draw in every possible lead off of that list.
I want to add to that, but I don't want you to forget your second one. Are you going to remember it if I jump in?
And then I'll try to remember my second.
And I'll try to remember. Well, it was never more evident to me than when my assistant had two babies during our time, when she went on maternity leave. And the key was, okay, I knew the 24 things I was supposed to do on my list, but I was just trying to get by. So I knew that it was like, I can get by with 10 of them, you know. I know, but who was I shortchanging? Maybe the seller a little bit, but really myself. Because if I didn't do the postcards or the ads the right way or the Facebook ads, the things to get more marketing from it, I was shortchanging myself to get that next deal. You know, so yeah, I did enough to market this house probably, but it's the deals you don't get in the future because you're not doing all the things you know you should be doing every transaction. So when she came back, I was very thankful because not only did I not have to do all these things, but I was going to get much more business because she was doing all of them again.
And retention. One thing we felt is that if you have a hitter and they're in there and they've gotten to know one of these assistants and they're doing all that stuff for them really good, they're not going anywhere. This is their assistant. They do that person knows everything about what they do.
Right.
That agent will never, ever, ever leave you. That assistant is more important to them than, quite honestly, the broker at the end of the day.
Well,
because
and at a cheap cost.
Yes.
Because, yeah, you could maybe find another TC and you could maybe find another assistant or listing marketing specialist, but now you're either going to have to, if they went somewhere else, they're going to have to either outlay 25, 50 grand to pay half or full-time for an assistant, or if they pay per transaction, you're not getting this work done for less than $300 or $400 on the front end, $300 or $400 on the back end. Now you're saving them, you know, you're getting to them at less than half the cost, you know, so be able to use our services. Not only do they get great service that's all tied in and knowing the Samson ecosystem and knows how to use our stuff, but
knows how to use our stuff.
Right, but they're getting it at less than half the cost they could out. So, yeah, yes, they could always leave and go, well, I'll hire somebody else. Yeah, but they got to take that into consideration if they're going to all of a sudden have to outlay 5, 10, 15, 20 grand more to get the same work assistant done that they can through our
and they don't have access
services.
to all the beautiful pricing on all the stuff that we're offering.
Absolutely. You know, so
it all ties in, and what it does is it makes the realtors really, really happy. And what they do is go tell their other hitter friends that you got to do this. Not only is he saving me 30, 40, 50 grand in commission splits, printing costs, assistance, all these things Donnie's going through. This is huge for these people. I mean, they really, really, this is how all the recruiting has been happening. That's why so many people are joining us, because we've specialized in all these things.
Yep. So the Cardinal Concierge Services are awesome. They're another big staple of our company. They're a staple that people can plug into right away. If you're a broker owner right now and you have an admin or a receptionist at your current office that you're paying money to, that's fine. A lot of times, I don't make any promises because we have to talk individually, but a lot of times we can convert them into the admin roles that we have here with our receptionists, teach them how to do these things. Your agents already love your admin or your receptionist at your desk. I don't want to put them out of a job. I want them to be even more productive so they can be our receptionist for you all, work on packages, work TC work, and if we need to hire a second one for your office, then we hire a second one, or we outshift some of the work back to Chantilly if we have an overflow. So we found that we can keep the current personnel in place, hopefully, if they can get trained up on our stuff. We've got great training for our TCs and our listing marketing specialists, and it's a great way to make those admins more productive in the office, be able to help people. So we bring them to Chantilly. We teach them not only this work, but also everything about our nest, everything about our services. So now they are the legs out there that can help on a one-on-one basis for all your agents in the offices when they've got certain questions or they need to know how to do this or how to do that. Well, your admin now is trained up in everything Samson, so the admin is kind of the helper for the whole office. So you don't have to roll up your sleeves and help every single person with dot loop or cardinal nest or whatever it is that they need help with.
Yeah, because there's so many different things. It's wonderful, but it's great to have somebody there who's kind of been taught up on all of it, who can also help the broker and teaching all the agents, like you just said. It's a great help for the brokers.
Absolutely. So that's the key there. So that's all of our Cardinal Concierge services. We think they're a good staple. We think we're here to stay. We hope to even grow it and have 30, 40, 50, 60 of them as we continue to grow.
And the agents love paying for the settlement, don't they?
Yes.
Boy, they love that
I always get a cheer when I talk about that part at the lunch and learn.
Yeah, man.
Because you just, to outlay a couple $100 out front, after you're paying for photographers and this and that to get the lunch to go, and it's another big thing maybe people are more hesitant about. But if they say, look, it's going to come out of your $8,000 or $10,000 or $12,000 commission, they're less likely to be like, okay, well, that's fine. Like, I'd rather pay you 2% of my commission at the end of the day and have an assistant than I would, pay the stuff up front. So
yeah, it's a piece by piece.
Yeah, I mean, you look at
this month I got 4, great, but next I might not have another one for a month or two.
Well, when you look at it, you get a $10,000 commission, okay, right? Let's just say that's the average commission is $10,000. And say you got both services and you paid $400 because you paid for, all the complete package from beginning to end. $400, what's that, 4% of your commission? You hear people sometimes like, well, my company provides all this concierge services, but I'm on a 70-30 split. Okay, well, how about I let you pick when you want the concierge services on the listings and the buyers that you want help with? And even if you use them to the greatest extent that you have, we're going to take 4% of your commission to pay the concierge at the end of the day. That seems like a pretty good deal to me. So I'd rather have you pick and choose when you use it than just take 20% out and say, well, look, we provide this. No, don't do that. Pay for it when you want, and even if you use all of it, it's like 4%.
Well, and it's even less than that. You got $1 million listing, 3%. You're making $30,000. Now you're talking about
a lot less percent.
1.5%.
Yeah, 1.5%, right? So even if on the average, and really you're talking about most times you're going to use it. Say it's a $600,000 listing. So I'm probably shortchanging it because maybe it's $12 or $15 or $20,000 commission, and $400 is more like 2%. So even in a worst case scenario where $10,000 is a good commission, but that's 4%. And you're going to pay less than that on most of these deals. And I would much rather have 100% of my commission and use the assistants when I want to and pay 1%, 2%, 3% of my commission than have them paid for by the company. I get access to them, but I got to give you 20% of my commission. So that's where our whole thinking when we created these services was, let's not just charge people 5, 10, because we went through all these permutations. Well, what if we just charge everybody 5% off the top and we provide these or 10% off the top? No. How about we let you choose? It's your money, you choose, and when you want it, pay 1%, 2%, 3% of your commission, you get the help, all the help you need.
Yeah. You want to do it yourself, save it, do it yourself and save it.
Right.
We'll provide all the materials for you, and do it yourself and save the money. But me, I'm going to have someone do all that stuff
exactly.
because I'm going to go out and find the next piece of business.
Absolutely. You talk about all the hours that you're going to pay this person. Well, $400, you got to create that $10,000 deal. I mean, it's hundreds of hours that you're going to pay for an admin support to find one deal. Well, I'd rather go find one more deal than spend 100 hours doing admin work, myself and you.
Well, that's where it came to cutting grass. I remember I lost a new construction 20 years ago that would have made me $15,000, $20,000, and I missed it because I was out cutting the grass. That's the last time I cut the grass. I brought someone in for $35 for the rest of my life to cut my grass because I want to make sure I'm available all the time for my clients when they need me.
And it's the same theory, so it's not that, and again, we don't push this because we're making money on it.
No,
and that's the key where people, I think, really fall in love with that idea is because if it were something where I was like, use the concierge because it's in our pockets, no, we lose money every time people use it. But in the long run, it's going to make everybody more efficient, happier, more productive. And that's why we push it. And that's why we think, everybody should use it on every transaction.
And we think it'll help out with you for the capture rate of Cardinal Title. Again, it's all about trying to get that capture rate. And when they see all these cool things, and meanwhile the assistant, she wants to use Cardinal too. So it kind of all works together beautifully. It really does.
Absolutely. So that's all the Cardinal Concierge services. So it kind of wraps up that section in a bow for you. So the next big section we wanted to talk about was kind of our culture. And sometimes when I used to do lunch and learns, I used to start with this because this is really, and we talked a little bit about this in the intro, but this is the foundation that you've built when you grew this company and
from day one.
From day one, how you looked at it and how it's even blossomed and grown from there. And it's really built on a couple things. It's this family culture, obviously with us two you know, and being a family company, and there's so many people from the Samson family or extended family, and lots of people that work here that emulates
Grew up with. God, I got a lot of guys that grew up with here.
Yes, he does. So we try to emulate that family culture throughout, but we really want to emphasize the two main rules here, you know, that kind of go with our culture, which is to be nice and to be professional. And that's just so important to us.
It encompasses everything.
It encompasses everything in so many things, whether it's our staff, we really pour into them. Be nice, be professional. Our realtors are our clients. We want to make sure we take great care of them. For our realtors to be nice to our staff, our realtors to be nice to clients out there in the workplace, you know, and professional. And it's just these two great golden rules that we've got that emulate through our company. You know, so it's that family culture, be kind, be professional, and then pay it forward. You know, and that's really how we look at our whole company. You know, we ask our realtors to do the big pay it forward, which is, look, we're going to pour into you. We can't ask you to, we can't pay you, we can't incentivize you, but please use Cardinal Title Group, pay it forward to us, and we'll all be great. So the ultimate pay it forward is there, but we know that that'll be entrenched in our realtors because of how we're paying it forward every day. We're taking that money and we're pouring back in our realtors.
We lead by example.
With staff, with all the things we've been talking about for the 2 hours of this video, or 3 hours, however long it's been at this point. You know, who knows? We've been talking for days. But we're paying it forward every day with how we're giving back. And if we're emulating that pay it forward, be nice, be professional, treat everybody with smile and care and love, then that's what we've got emulated through the whole company. Yep. And the biggest example of that is, you know, or the funnest example, I guess, of that is, and that family culture that we try to emulate is a couple things. One, our sales meetings. So we have 3 sales meetings a month right now that are live streamed everywhere. We have 2 in Chantilly, our home base, that go out to everybody. And then we have our Maryland sales meeting every month that rotates around all the Maryland offices. All of them are live streamed. Everybody's willing to attend.
They're videos so they can watch them later?
Yes,
right?
they're videos so they can watch later in the day if they can't join us live, but they're so fun, and they're the Wednesdays that we look forward to because we, you know, when it's appropriate, we get 80 or 100 people in this room, and they have a great time, and we're professional.
We get all kinds of food. And
food and professional but fun. You know, we joke, we joke with each other, and we have a good time because we want to just. And that's what I think people love. And I wish I had, you know, our lovely Deb Gorham's, you know, five things that she got from our sales meetings. But I know she had familiar, I know she had fun, I know she had informative, and I forget 2 of the others. But the coolest part is we don't ever want to run a meeting that we wouldn't want to go to. You know, and that's kind of the thing that I always say is we are not going to let people stand up and say, I have a new listing in Burke. It's 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. It has a great deck off the back. Look, that's fantastic. And if you want to talk about it later, I'd love to hear about your listing, maybe. But but the key for us is we want to get into topics that are appealing to everybody. What new classes can we teach you? What's going on in the market today? What's the new tech tips today? What's a 5-minute or less, you know, tip from our lender that's going to pop in and teach us new things? What's the update from the Cardinal Title Group? We want to make sure that we're giving you great knowledge so that you can be a better realtor tomorrow. I used to say I love sales meetings even when I was selling because even though I was doing $30 million a year and 70, 80 transactions, which is a lot, I was still only exposed to what was going on in my bubble, right? I only had my 70 experiences or my 5, 8, 10 experiences a month. When you come into a sales meeting with 80, 100 people and leadership that hears from lots of realtors through the week, we can all experience it. You might think the market stinks because your listing hasn't sold. Well, your listing just might not be priced appropriately. The market's kicking butt. Let's all talk about how are multiple bids, like, you know, what's been going on with your multiple bids?
How to get a seller to get their price down.
Right. Can you get the seller down? Or how did you win your last bid? How did you decide who won your last bid? How were all your open house traffics? You know, we can get all these things. Statistics are one thing, but real life stories and experiencing it together is why our sales meetings are fantastic. And we make sure
if I don't like the topic somebody brings up, I'll cut it. I'm sorry. I got 80 people plus everybody out in the audience that's watching. If it's something that's not going, I'm gonna cut it quick because, and we don't normally have to do that. We don't normally have to do that, but we're aware of the fact that the 80 people in here, they don't want to hear about somebody's sob story about a thing unless we think it has a real relevance to what we're talking about. Another thing that we don't do in these sales meetings, we don't bring in home inspectors. We don't bring in anybody. And we let the lender talk a little bit. We give them 2 minutes, and it better be good because I want to keep the momentum of the meeting going. But doggone it, we don't bring anybody in here to talk to people. Now, there are times, and you can do the same thing, there are times if we think there's a good topic, we'll put them on after the sales meeting. We'll put them on at 11:15 when it's all over, and whoever wants to stay and listen to this retirement investor or an investor on special financing, whatever the topic is, we'll bring them in, let them come after the meeting. But they're not going to get in the middle of our sales meeting.
Right.
Our sales meeting moves, and we're not going to lose it because we know we got 80 people in the room and a couple of hundred people at home watching, and we don't want to lose their attention for a second. So we keep that sucker moving.
Absolutely. And the other key thing that we've seen a lot of great, because you may or may not be close to Chantilly, we're going to come, or close to where our Maryland location is as it moves around. So we've seen a lot of branches do, which is great, is do the watch parties together. You know, we'll pay for food, bagels and stuff to come to you, and you guys do a watch party in your conference room with 10, 20, 30 agents, or in your office, so you guys can all watch the meeting together. And then some branches even at that 11:15 break, you know, after we're done an hour and a half, maybe then you break off and you have separate topics that are your office related. So a lot of times people will parlay it that way, you know, where they can do that. Or
We field questions sometimes.
So yes, we field questions through text, and we're always available for questions live during it. But it's fantastic you can create your own culture where you watch the meetings together, you get to share in those experiences together in your office, and then if you want to have a specific, you know, Columbia meeting afterwards, you can, you know, because now you've brought everybody together, you fed them some bagels, you guys break bread and enjoy each other's company and watch the meeting. So we really enjoy those company meetings. They're a great way to connect. They're a great way to disseminate information, you know, 3 times a month and make sure that we get out. And the Maryland meetings are even some of my favorites because I see a lot of the same Chantilly people. But as we travel around all the different Maryland offices, seeing all those rooms fill with 50, 60 people, it's just great to be able to see everybody in our company. So they're a fantastic cultural experience for us and something that we're always going to keep up and try to get out to everybody as much as we can.
And you know, Donnie, that's something for you right now. I know it's difficult for you to perform. I mean, a lot of companies, most every company is kind of given up on sales meetings.
Sure.
It's hard to fill that content, get everybody in there, and it's hard to have enough to keep everybody happy and informed. Well, let me tell you, these realtors in this company, every time, they love these sales meetings because, man, we make sure there's a lot of information in the sales meeting so that when we're done, the agent's like, wow, that was a great meeting. You know, so we do put a lot into the meetings. I've never missed meetings in the last 20 years. We've always had sales meetings. So we're pretty darn good at it. We know how to move them along to keep everybody interested. And it takes the burden off you. Now, all of a sudden, you've got beautiful sales meetings that keep your agents informed every 2 weeks. We do it the first and third Wednesday of every month. The first and third is the Virginia, and then you do Maryland
The second one.
the second Wednesday. And of course, we'll expand on that as we expand. But boy, I'll tell you, this is a live feed that they can watch at home, right?
Yep.
They can watch this sales meeting at home. They can watch it with you guys in the office.
Yep.
It's a great source of
It can be a great source
information.
great source of bonding, great source of information, great source that takes the burden off you to have to come up with 15 topics. If any of us individually had to run our own sales meeting, we would fall back on home inspectors or letting people talk about their listings. But none of that stuff is interesting. It's got its own place.
Yeah.
You know, you want to do some listing exchange meeting later, do that. You want to do a home inspector seminar, it's great. It has a place.
Yeah.
Go to the home inspector class. But when you have something this big with this many agents and this much activity going on, this many projects and staff and stuff to do, we can put together a great hour, hour and a half that stays informative and stays relevant, which is great.
And when you're recruiting, believe me, a lot of the people in your area, including the hitters, they're home. They're not getting sales meetings at their companies anymore. They're not. So they're feeling a little lonely, a little less informative about what's happening. You and I both know that this industry is changing weekly. There's new things coming in every week that are relevant to what we're doing. And if you're not keeping up with them, now the point is, a lot of those hitters that you're going to be recruiting, they're not getting sales meetings where they are right now. Here, it's just one more thing that they get when they come and join your company and join our company is they're in on these sales meetings twice a month, and I'm telling you, they love it. They dig these sales meetings.
You can be so much more informed of the market than you could be if you stay in your own bubble. And there's
Right.
so many people right now that stay in their own bubble all the time, and they can't get the information that they could get by sharing an experience with people in their own office and then people across the whole DMV footprint like we are. So
And we do welcome everybody. So if you're right now in
we've got crews that drive up from Culpeper and down from Columbia
Fredericksburg.
and Fredericksburg and all over the place.
They
that
come up
in.
because we lay out a huge spread of food, and it's a great way for them to, you know, meet and talk with the 50, 60, 80 realtors that are here in the building.
Yeah,
and
so
it
it's
really
a great
creates
experience.
a great experience for everybody.
So the other big thing I want to talk about when it comes to culture, which you brilliantly put in place.
Can I say one more thing, Donnie,
You
before
can.
you go?
Your name's on the building. We went over that.
Because
you can say
you know
want.
how much I love your meeting notes.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Because Donnie puts out meeting notes. Within 48 hours, he's got a 6-page spread, including all the links that we talked about, all the things we discussed. And so when Donnie, two or 3 days later, will come out with these sales meeting notes that are phenomenal. I say they're 3 or 4 pages, but they're actually 7 or 8 pages. And it's got links to everything that we talked about, so that and you can go back and look at a meeting we did a year ago and print out all the links on that. So
we have a whole message board on the Nest that just has the sales meeting notes. So I email them out, but then we post them all meeting by meeting on the Nest, so they're easy to find and easy to look back up.
It goes over everything we went over in the sales meeting, along with all the links to get to where we talked about to get things done. And I mean, that's a tremendous resource for these agents and for you brokers, because that's something now you've got for your agents.
And I would say at a minimum that people should read through those every 2 weeks, even if they didn't get in, because we're not going to miss anything important that goes on in this company or this industry. It's going to hit that meeting. So, there might be sometimes we send out separate emails along the way, or important announcements, but we're always those are kind of our 2 catch points every month, that we're going to make sure that anything important that happens, we're going to go over it then. Even if we've talked about it a week ago, we're going to make sure we come back to it and it's included in the meeting notes. Those are like my 2-week summaries of the company and how everything's going and new things that they're talking about.
Believe me, the agents will love the sales meetings. They all do.
So the thing that Danny put in almost 4 years ago, I guess now, believe it or not, is we used to have company parties, which were great at Christmas, and they were fun, but we started getting bigger, and it became impersonal. And everything you hear out of our mouth is family, good culture, loving on each other, and 2 or 3 hours at International on a random Wednesday night, International Country Club, on a random Wednesday night in December, where it was one more thing you had to do during the holiday season instead of something really great to look forward to, didn't seem like the best way to celebrate the culture and atmosphere that we wanted to emulate. We wanted to push out. So as we got bigger, Dad had this great idea to say, look, if we're going to spend this money, we're going to put together this great party, let's make it something that we all want to do, want to enjoy, and want to look forward to. So this October 2020 will be our 4th Samson Fall Festival. So you can see his big smile coming. So Dan, I've kind of set it up for you. So you tell us all about the love of the festival that we talk about here.
Well, the first 3 years it was me and Bobby and someone, and the 3 of us, and it was a lot to do. Now we've got about 10 people on the staff, and we're making this bigger and bigger and bigger. It's going to be huge. But let me just start. We start with music, where this year we'll have 2 stages going on far apart, but 2 stages going on with great music all day. We got a talent show this year. We're going to have a talent show. Donnie and I have about an hour-long speech where we give out probably 25, 30 things that cost $100 to $200 each.
Got a lot of raffle prizes.
Huge raffle prizes.
And awards for
the top Cardinal title people. We give out beautiful, beautiful glass plaques to the winners. The band's going all day, and I mean, these aren't bad. The band we got headlining this year is a band Liverpool Legends, which is in the top 5 Beatle bands in the world. So this is one of the, when you see this Liverpool Legends, they are a true, costumes, the whole thing, it's beautiful. So the bands are going 2 stages all day, talent show. We got 8 food trucks with every different kind of food that you want. Everything's free, by the way. Everything is free.
And I think that's the biggest, we'll talk more about stuff, but the 2 biggest things, because some other companies do, I'm not going to use names because I don't want, they do weekends away or stuff like that where the 2 biggest difference are is it ends up costing you a bunch of money to go to these things, which are fun, and it's not a family. You don't get to bring your kids and your spouse sometimes, and it becomes sometimes a point of contention in your family, and there's business involved, and it's fun, but it ended up costing you a couple grand, and you separated from your spouse and your kids, and it didn't, that's not really what we want as far as our family festival or our family, time together. So with this, we've created an all-day experience that's free, which everybody can pay for, right? And I've got 4 daughters, that range from 7 to 14 years old, and it's their favorite day of the year because they've just got all these great activities my dad's talking about here, because that's how our culture is.
Right.
We're all family. Bring your kids. Let's all party together all day. Let's not send one of you across the country to Vegas or Texas for 3 days and cause splintering in a family. We're one big family. We want to meet your family. We want to party with your family. We want to hang out with your family. We want to break bread, have free food, have free drinks, celebrate to a concert, play moon bounces, zip wires, all the different things. We want to do all that together because that's the family that we are. When we say we've got 32 new realtors that join this week, we say 32 new family members because we really treat our company that way or attempt to. And obviously that you can say, well, it's a struggle when you get this big. Well, yes, obviously, but the more things that we do like this, if we really try to emulate the family culture from beginning to the bottom, or top to the bottom, is really wrapping our heads around that idea. And the Fall Festival, that's why I love it so much, is because it really emulates what we want to be. It's family, it's free, everybody can do it, everybody can party all day together, and it's just a great day.
Well, let me and go over a few more specifics.
Yeah, of course.
That's okay,
of course. You talk about free, and it hit my head because I know there are other companies do stuff, but it costs money and it's not family
You hit
oriented.
the nail on the head. Everything you just said is exactly right. Some of the things we got going on, like this year, I think we have like 8 face painters. I mean, these kids love face paint. I mean, these are professional face painters.
Meredith may have upped that to 10.
Did you get
No,
it to 10?
I'm just kidding. 8 or 10.
But that's okay.
Just don't look at the bill. I'm just kidding.
You don't know anybody waiting, But you got 8 or 10 face painters out there, and I mean, they're professional face painters. These kids love this stuff. You got balloon artists, magicians,
Jugglers.
What else the kids got? Cotton candy, ice cream,
Petting zoos.
Pony rides. We've got about 10 bouncy houses with obstacle courses where the kids can play in these bouncy houses and obstacle courses all day long.
We got the mousetrap balls where you jump in the
Hamster
ball.
balls, right?
They're hamster balls. You jump in them and you run around. You can smash into each other.
There's a race track where you
yeah.
We're going to have 2 300-foot zip lines. That's a full football field of a zip line. I mean, the line was too long at the zip line. That's why this year we're going to have 2 zip lines, keep them going all the time. We've got a cornhole tournament that goes on. We got a volleyball tournament that's going to go on.
Hopefully this year I don't choke in the semis again.
Yeah.
I would say I choked. I would say my partner.
The food trucks, the food trucks are great, but we got basically the tents are 80 feet by 80 feet that you can fit 100 tables inside. So you can bring your own tents if you want to bring your own tents. You can rent a tent and get a front row spot near the bands if you want. Boy, it just goes on and on. The parking, this year it's going to be at Bull Run Regional Park. We'll have about 5,000 to 6,000 people there this year. We're going to have the Beach Boys cover band right before the Beatles. So we're going to have the Beach Boys and roll into the Beatles right after that.
We're just smacking that 50 to 60-year-old bracket right in the face. No, I'm just kidding. Beach Boys and
Someday
Beatles
when
are
I
great.
start, when I don't take
Someday
over.
when you'll be 80 still playing in the festival. Let's be clear. you may back off some of your other responsibilities at some point, but the festival we're still going to have the Liverpool legends.
There'll be classic rock going in there. I mean, the first year I think we had Michael Jackson did a great show.
We did.
So we always want to have some good headliners, and every year we're getting bigger and bigger. So we're now putting 4 headliners out there, not just 1 headliner. We're really doing. But I do start off every festival, first 45 minutes with the Army Band. And we've got about 12, 15 members of the Army Band that comes out and does military songs, real patriotic songs to start the festival off. So it's really good. I love that. They're all in their nice, beautiful uniforms, and it really is a nice way to kick the festival off. It's just a lot of fun for you and your family all day long to come and enjoy it. People get with their families. And one thing I love more than anything, Donnie, there's still question about why this happened, but I didn't see nobody had their phone in their hand. Nobody had their phone in their hand. Nobody. Now, they said they couldn't get reception. I'm not believing it. I'm just believing the fact that they were having so much fun with them and their family that there's no need. I mean, you had fathers and mothers playing catch and frisbee. We threw 100 frisbees and balls out there, so everybody had something they could play catch with the kids. It's a real family day to get out there and have fun with your family. And like you said, every kid now, this is their favorite day of the year is to come out there and get all the ice cream and cotton candy and food and face painting and all the animals. They love it.
Yeah.
It's a great day for them.
No, my kids are. They look forward to Festival Day every day. Every year, it's their favorite day, and they got a pretty good life. So they've got lots of things to look forward to, but they love Festival Day.
Well, I mean, we'd have 100 kids up in the front near the stage, and they're watching the music and having a great time, dancing, having fun. So it's really a fun day for everybody. So,
absolutely.
I hope you get here and join us and come on out, and hopefully you join us in time to make that October 24th party. But it is just for our company and their families. Yep. It'll be our 4th annual festival, and
it just kind of emulates the culture that, if I was out there, I'd really want to get into. It's this family culture, this great be nice, be professional, pay it forward attitude. The like you said earlier in the video, the love on the field is just amazing.
It is amazing.
But you're able to really you're able to feel the tenor of your company, and it's not stuffy. It's not dress up in a shirt and tie on a random Wednesday in December and have 2 drinks and listen to a cover band. It's let's go out all day. Let's be relaxed. Let's have food and
Sit
drinks
down and
together,
talk with each other.
talk and listen to bands, and play some ball, and it's ride on a zip line and ride on a mechanical bull.
Oh, that's right, mechanical bulls. We got 2 of those, 2 bulls.
So I think that's just it kind of emulates what we want to. What you started, what I'm trying to help is pour that attitude through our whole company, through our whole staff, our realtors, our family, and I think that I really just want to make sure that we hit on that family culture and the sales meetings and the festival, and kind of how the things we do all the time to really cultivate that culture.
Yeah, and this is a time where most companies are doing away with
They're dialing back
Christmas
on
parties.
stuff.
They're doing away with Christmas parties and all these things they used to do years ago for the company. Those are gone away.
Right.
And we're building ours up.
We still do, not that it matters in the grand scheme of things, but we do still do separate branch, holiday get-togethers.
Yeah, and we did about 8 or 10 of those last year.
Yeah.
We go around all of them.
Or more. And Danny and I try to get to as many as we can, but we do all separate potlucks, and people bring in their stuff, and then we do allow each branch to get together and
they had
do
some great gift exchanges.
We were in 5 or 10 white elephants, and it was lots of fun.
We were experts at it by the end of Christmas, man.
We were telling everybody the rules by the end. It's like, no, listen, this is our 12th party. This is the rule, okay? Danny and I have done lunch and dinner
know how to work those
for like
games.
2 weeks, all right? We know the white elephants. But so we just still do holiday stuff, and we want to build cultures within each office. But from the top down, we want to emulate this throughout the company. And then we also participate in trying to get great culture within each branch as well, which you probably already have in your current branch or your current company, but we want to help, facilitate that as well.
This will make them part of a much bigger thing, and they love it. They just love being a part of that bigger thing.
And hopefully you invite us to your white elephant when you join as well.
Yeah. We'll come. We'll try, to some extent, but it's just hard. And Donnie did a beautiful job making sure that on the Nest, all the managers coordinated it so that we could go to their parties. They wouldn't do a double up on one day. They all realized that, hey, if we want the management to come, then let's do it on a day where nobody else is having a party.
We had to schedule out for a couple weeks and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so it was great. Everyone looked at it and they could see where they could get us there.
And we're constantly always trying to do other cultural events, grand openings, happy hours. We really want to facilitate that within our different branches. It's tough for us to dictate all 23 what they do, but we partner with the manager, and try to talk to them about things that they help would build their culture, and we're very much in favor of all those things, because people will be more successful.
We'll contribute money to that,
yes,
too, Donnie.
We'll contribute money and time and try to get there, but we realize people are going to be more successful if they generally enjoy where they work, they want to be a part of the culture where they work, so we want to facilitate that as well, as much as we can.
All right, Cardinal Title, as we've said before, I mean, this whole business plan, this whole beautiful circle that we have all relies on Cardinal Title. And that's what separates you and us from every other company out there is we own 100% of our own title company. Cardinal Title Group, we've got one of the greatest managers, presidents, CEOs, attorneys that's running it. Kerry is doing a tremendous job running the title company on the Virginia side. Bruce is over on the Maryland side running it.
Right.
But Donnie, we've come a long way with our title company.
Yeah, and I think that's really key. We've had the title company since 2009, and as we were growing, it's gotten better. But, and honestly, 3 to 5 years ago, where our company was at a point where, we had good talent and we liked all our people. But as we've grown bigger and had more transactions and been able to pour more into it, we've not only gotten, I don't want to say smarter, I think we realized this at the beginning, but financially we've gotten to the point now where we know that the best investments that we can make are in great talent at Cardinal Title Group, because the difference between a C-level processor and an A-level processor is night and day on how well our realtors are going to love Cardinal Title Group. So if we have to pay an extra 10, 20, 30 grand to get that A-level processor, then we're going to do that because we realize that money is so much more important over the long run on making sure that we have the A-plus title company. So that's where we've changed so much in the last 2 or 3 years is we've really poured so much resources, investment, time into getting Cardinal Title Group staff amazing and improving every month. As we're growing, we're constantly hiring. And one appeal I made earlier in the video was if you're joining us and you like some title person that you currently have a relationship with, please let us meet them because the odds are we're going to want to hire them. Anybody in the industry out there right now that we know is good, we will hire. Our just hiring sign is always open because we know we're growing and we know the most important people we can have is great people. I always use the example. If John Smith's going to join us tomorrow, and John's like, all right, Donnie, I'm all in. I like everything you do. I'm all about it. I'll try Cardinal Title Group. And John does 10 deals a year for the next 10 years. It's 100 deals. Well, if John uses Cardinal Title Group and it goes so-so the first couple times, and he kind of loses patience, and he's like, I'm kind of out. We might get 3, 4, 5, 7 of John's next 100 deals. But if John has great processors, we invest great time and money and staff and the resources at Cardinal Title Group, and John has a great experience, we might get 80 of John's deals over the next 100, or 100, or as many as we can.
Right.
So winning John's allegiance is so important to us. So it's not about, we are very forward thinking when it comes to this. It's about getting the best personnel. It's not about, well, I could save $5,000 here. No. If we have great people, great resources, great staff at Cardinal, then John's going to be blown away. John's going to have a great experience every time. And if he doesn't, then we'll work with it and fix it. But we have had so few complaints because Carrie's doing a great job running the place, and Reed is director of operations, and all those people that we've hired over the last couple of years are so great that we can close 500 deals in a month and get 2 complaints. They've gotten so great at doing a fantastic job over there because we're hiring the best personnel out there, and we're always looking for great ones. So I think that's where we've come, and the biggest genesis, and maybe you have or haven't had experience with Cardinal in the past, and it was 3, 5, 7 years ago. We're pretty honest about coming forward with that is, look, we know that not only have we learned a lot, but we've gotten better managers in place and have more resources to hire better staff.
We make a lot more money, so we can hire a lot better people.
We can hire better staff.
That makes everything go better.
Right.
One other thing I want to touch on this, Donnie, is the philosophy from day one in 2001 is, or when we started our first title company in 2003, is we don't come in here and try and get our realtors to use 15 different things. We're not trying to push home inspectors. We're not trying to push this, push that. We push one thing, title. One thing is what we ask them to help us out with is title. Now, if they can help us out with our in-house lender, First Heritage Mortgage, we do own a piece of that, so it's very legal for to work with First Heritage. So we do like them to use First Heritage, but I don't let. You know how many times people have called us, say, hey, can I get into your salesman? Can I do this? No.
Constantly.
I'm not promoting anybody. I have realtors that want us to promote this. No, I don't promote anything, because then all the realtors are like, oh my God, Donnie and Danny, all they're trying to do is get us to use everything that they have, and we don't. We just try and promote the title. That's it. We want that to be the best title business in the industry. And boy, if you can help us out with First Heritage Mortgage, that's going to make all of us happy.
And the couple things that we added on that as well, sorry, I thought you were
No, I
done,
am.
is we made an investment about a year and a half ago in Qualia, which is a fantastic software that Carrie and Reed pushed us to get into, which, the wire frauds and all this stuff out there was becoming prevalent. So Qualia is a totally secure software that every single one of our transactions is run through, and our realtors loved the change once we switched over. They can log in at any time and see all the transactions they have going on with Cardinal Title Group. The buyers and sellers can log in at any time, see what's going on with their transaction. They do everything in a secure environment. Submit loan numbers and submit all their social security. Everything's in a secure environment where they have to log into to do, instead of passing emails, things that can get corrupted. So everything, wire instructions, everything is done within Qualia's secure environment, which is amazing. The other really cool part about it is, everybody's like, well, they're updating me enough, or they give me enough updates during the process. Well, it's almost like, it's a bad analogy, but the pizza timer. If you call Domino's, like, well, the pizza's in the oven, the pizza's out of the oven, the pizza's in the car, it's coming to you. You can see every step of the way. So now the clients can log in, and the agents can log in and see title ordered, title back, appraisals ordered, appraisals back, termites in. You can see all the steps along the way, what's coming next, what isn't done yet, what is done. So all of those things really help our realtors to feel like they're getting number one, first-class service from Cardinal Title Group, and the clients feel very secure and taken care of because it's Qualia.
It makes it easy for you to get everybody on board when we've got this thing.
Absolutely, and we also have Zachem, which is the mobile app so that you can do your EMDs, whether they're to Samson Properties or to Cardinal Title Group. Cardinal Title was very early on Zachem. Some of the companies are now trying to catch up during COVID, but we've had Zachem now for 6 or 8 months, where all of our clients and or realtors can take pictures of the check for earnest money deposit, front and back, click a couple buttons, and it goes directly into Samson's escrow account or Cardinal's escrow account, whichever one they want to hold the escrow. So we are really on top of the line for technology, for cutting edge. We have processors in almost all of our offices and staff in almost all of our offices, all of our bigger offices, and we're continuing that staff. And we know that not only adding great staff, but making sure that they're readily available in the branches has become a huge importance to us, because yes, our hub here is at Chantilly with a good percentage of staff, but if you're out in Alexandria or Gainesville or McLean or wherever, you want to have a real life great processor every day that you're like, well, I give my files to Tammy every day, and Tammy's great and she takes care of me, fantastic. And then I know that Bruce is the one that closed my deals when he comes in to close. Well, you become more comfortable with great. We know they've got great head of operations back at Chantilly, but they have great resources every day in my office that I can walk into and ask questions to, and I can be a part of the process with me. So we are obsessed with making sure we have as many great people in all the different locations as possible, so that you can A, close with them, but B, have great face-to-face interactions with them without having to come back to Chantilly or Bethesda where Bruce is. We've got people spread out all over Maryland in the locations and all over Virginia in all of our locations to help better serve you whenever you want to bring your deal to Cardinal Title Group.
And one thing else I want to say to you folks out there that have your offices now is, we're always open to suggestions. Doggone it, I'm never know. I mean, when you think you know it all, you're in trouble. I want to hear your suggestions. I'm sure that there's things that you're doing that can improve our company too.
Sure.
And we want to hear about that. So we're interested in hearing all what you guys do. Now, we may not do it. We may not be able to do everything. You know, we can't do everything.
Do everything, right?
But doggone it, if it makes sense and it's good, we really want to implement it. So a lot of the things that we do are brought to us ideas from other agents here in the company or us. So we're willing to hear your ideas, and we'd like to maybe build on them. Again, I can't promise that we can do everything, but boy, if we really want to hear your ideas, because it all makes us a better company.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think just the overall kind of message I went down with Cardinal Title Group was, you know, we can't pay and incentivize people, which I've said a couple times, but what we really encourage realtors to do, at least I do, is look, give them a chance and then let them earn your business from there, because they're a top flight company, and they will earn your business once you give them the opportunity. We've got some funny examples. You know, one of our staff members, she had a best friend that worked for another title company, and she came in and she said, all right, I'm going to go 50-50. Like, I get it. We need Cardinal Title, but she's my best friend. Like, I have to use her some. So she went 50-50 for the first few deals, and then all of a sudden she realized it was like, okay, wait a minute, now it's 80-20, it's 90-10. She woke up 6 months later, she said, I gave my last 11 deals to Cardinal. I didn't even realize it, because the process had been so easy, it had become so smooth, she was taken great care of, and she was paying it forward, because as she got in here longer, not only was she being successful, but she realized how great the company was, how they were pouring into her, how much she loved it, and she's like, I got to keep paying the people that are feeding me, you know, and this company is making me great or helping me become greater, but I got to keep giving Cardinal Title Group. They're taking great care of me. I want to take care of them and take care of Samson and Cardinal. So it becomes such an easy sell once they give Cardinal Title Group the opportunity to win them over and give Samson Properties an opportunity to win the realtors over with all the great resources we've outlined here. They want to give back and they want to use us.
It's a beautiful circle. It really is, and you'll see it. And the only way I can really describe it is once you get in it and you start recruiting people and talking about this stuff all the time, you realize you can't build a better circle than this.
You get excited like this guy. You start standing up, hopping up and down.
It's a great way to go to sleep and wake up every day, because everybody I see in the hallway around this office every day, they're thankful. They are thankful. We get letters all the time. Well, thank you for building this company that finally cares about the realtors and their money and educating them and making them a better realtor. We're not looking to try and nickel dime and make money off everybody on every little bit we can. That's obvious. We're losing money on most everything we're doing. But the big scheme of things is working, and that's why we have 3,100 agents right now and growing by over 100 a month, is because of all these things we put in there. Gambling on this would happen, and it's happening.
Yep, absolutely.
It's a lot of fun. I hope you'll decide to become a part of us. I think you'll love it. I know you'll love it. Please call and talk to any one of the realtors in our company and ask them, is what we're saying true? In fact, that's one of the things I love more than anything, is that people that join us would come up to me a month or two later and go, you know, when I joined this company, this other company a while back, they promised me this, and when I joined, everything went, you know, I couldn't find anybody, couldn't talk to anybody.
A lot of empty promises. And
I said, I came here, these people say, I came here, and not only do you guys do everything you say you're going to do, but it's actually better than I thought it was. The people around here are so freaking nice. They just can't wait to come in and be around our people, because they're really nice, because that's the culture of this company. So I know we can change your life. We can create you a good income, a great company, and something to build on for the future. And now you got a great golden parachute that can take care of you even after you've left us. So You got a lot of great energy here. You got a lot of great people helping you. I hope you decide to make this conversion and come over and join us and watch your company explode, and we're going to help you do it.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.